out!
Lost lambs, old hands, find a man, not a man, understand, he's the daddy son of Sam, man, hey, they found the Lord.
Cream cheese has not been banned yet. Mods, what the F is going on? No, I don't want you to do it, Catherine. I want one of the...
I really want to do it.
I want one of the other mods to do it. I want one of the mods to ban cream cheese. Go! Johnny's in the basement, mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement, wondering about the government. Look out, kid. We should do that. Can one of the mods ban cream cheese? Not the message, the person. What is going on? Catherine had to do that.
If you want something done, man.
Catherine had to do that. She shouldn't have to do that. Gatford, you deleted a message. Right, Gatford loses his sword. Gatford loses the sword. I don't know how to actually do that. Because Gatford deleted a message, but did not ban. Unmod Gatford _1. This is happening tonight. This is happening tonight. It's not. Thank you. It is a very nice cardigan. When you listen to this, try and sing Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. Here we go. Wrong.
Two lost lambs, old hands, find a man, not a man, understand, he's the daddy son of Sam, man, hey. Found the Lord of pain. Dark words overheard, nipple twist, rug burn, demon bird, doom heard, me and Stevie Gutenberg, liar, in the lake of fire. Satan, can you hear us? We are on our way. I'd just like to give our praise today. 'Cause that's the acolyte way.
Do it. You do it. Do you know enough? You can do it, can't you? It's the first rap song. The Kinks invented heavy metal. Dylan invented rap.
Johnny's in the basement, mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement, thinking about the government. Man in the trench coat, badge out, laid off. Says he's got a bad coat, wants to get paid off. Look out, kid, it's something you did. God knows when you do it again. You better duck down.
Stop. We're going to do it. I don't know it. We're going to do it as a round.
Okay.
Right? But the whole song.
I don't really know, apart from the
doesn't matter.
Bit. All right, let's do it.
You go. Here we go.
Okay. Johnny's in the basement, mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement, think about the government. Man in the trench coat, badge out, laid off. Says he got a bad cough, wanted to get it paid off. Look out, kid, it's something you did. God knows when, but you're doing it again. You better duck down the alleyway looking for a new friend. Man in the cookie cap in the pig pen. It's $11 bills, you only got 10. Maggie comes fleet-foot, full face of black soot, talking about the heat, put plants in the bed, but the bones tapped anyway. Maggie says the men say there must be an early way. DA, look out, kid, doesn't matter what you did. Walk on your tiptoes, don't tie no bows. Better stay away from those that carry around a fire hose. Keep a clean nose, watch the plain clothes. Don't need to wear the man, know which way the way plays. Oh, get sick, get well, hang round a wink, well, handball. Hard to tell if anything's gonna sell. Try hard, get barred, get bad, right, braille, get jail, jump bail, join the army if you fail. Look out, kid, you're gonna get hit, but losers, cheaters, 6-time users, hang around the theatres.
You're gonna get hit, but losers, cheaters, 6-time users, hang around the theatres, girl. But no, and then you go round again. It's a...
No, I think there's more down there.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you go.
It's very wordy, isn't it? I think too wordy. I think you should have taken out at least two of those verses.
This is why Dylan doesn't play his songs like they're on the records, because he can't remember them. I'm going to turn that sign off because that's taken the focus away.
Yeah. Although it is making me look delightfully misty.
Oh. We got a show for you Tonight, I had a haircut last week, so my hair isn't getting long. That's a lie. Well, everyone's hair is getting longer.
long, so we're all growing it.
But I had a haircut last week. It's the late night alternative. I've moved stuff because I was filming some stuff today.
Oh.
So we put the Alpha Sync logo back. We put the telephone number up. If you missed the Watch Along or Lost with Ian Lee, as I'm kind of half calling it, if you are a Patreon, you will have received the audio as a podcast.
Nice.
If you are not a Patreon, you can go to the YouTube channel and you can watch it. 0203 286 6370. It's a phone-in show. If you're in the UK, some of you might remember me from, I don't know, stealing some strawberries on a silly television programme called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
You won't remember me. I'm a woman of mystery.
She's a woman. I'm thinking two things. One, we watch I'm a Celebrity on here and I give you my inside information. Two, we watch my I'm a Celebrity, which I've still not seen, on here, and I give you my inside information. That's something. I'm coming up again. Not on, but on, and I'm full of ideas.
Okay.
I am full of ideas. Full of ideas.
So you asked for topics last night. We brought you topics.
Well,
I say
no,
we.
you.
You've brought you topics.
You have brought us topics. Topics. Why do people after me in with Steve Pegg say, what's this? Oh, hang on.
That.
What is it?
It's the that New Zealand name.
Oh, I can't be bothered. I don't know, Steve Pegg. I don't. It's not really my cup.
Good luck to him.
Good luck to almost everybody who works in the industry, apart from and me, Melon.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. But good luck to everybody. What's your intro on Jungle? Well, maybe we can do that. Haven't done episode 2 of Lost. I'm guessing it might be this Saturday. It might be this Saturday.
Are you ready to go there?
Whoa, my baby, Lola, little lady, wanna drive me crazy, but it's 2:45.
Yep. So topics. What we got? What are we looking at?
We got a song I wrote called Oh, my lady, wanna drive me crazy, I wanna be your baby, it's 2:45.
Hello. Could you stay focused?
Yes, I can. People are going to think I'm high again. I've actually got a really runny nose. But
Yeah.
that's just the way it
He's
goes.
not high again. I can vouch for that.
She knows. We did some downers before we came on. What was the film we watched? We watched a really, really good film, didn't we?
We watched
Pain and Glory.
Pain and Glory. Dolor y Gloria.
Almodovar.
Almodóvar. Almodóvar.
Spanish director did Jam On.
You did.
Also did How I Met Your Mother and
Nope.
King of Queens.
No.
What did you?
Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, all about my mother.
Okay, in
Kika.
a minute, Catherine. Let's talk about the movie director and his movies first.
Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
And we watched so we watched his last film, and it was brilliant.
So good.
Didn't quite get it to start with. Thought, this is a little bit meandering and a little bit ponderous.
They always
which is
are.
Actually, it turns out it's quite a good thing, and it was just great. It was just great.
He's good. He knows what he's doing.
And then we listened to Cher.
So it's been camp all night.
Well, then we listened to Michael and the Slipper Tree.
Yeah, we still can't work that one out.
Then we listened to Cher. But so I asked you for topics because you wanted topics, right? So we've gone full on. Oh, by the way, someone said, Ian, do you have an email I could contact you on, please? It's really a story I'm writing for the Times. I went, yeah, all right, sure. And his email was, thanks for getting back so quickly. I'm writing a piece about Sacha Baron Cohen. Was wondering how much you had to do with him on the 11 o'clock show. If you cross paths with him a bit, I'd love to speak to you about what you made of him. Thanks, Ed. I replied, sorry, Ed, can't help on this. I ain't dishing the dirt on nobody.
I mean, how long you got?
Trump says he's ending COVID-19 relief negotiations until after the election. I don't know what that means.
Well, he's had it now.
Okay, he's had it, and he
Apparently.
I don't think he had it.
No. He got over it really quickly. I had a colleague once who had pleurisy just for the weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
OJ, I've never owned a fax machine, so you didn't sell me a fax machine. So that's your first lie. Want to do a second lie? Do you want to do a second lie? Do you want to do a second lie? Do you want to do a second lie? Well, do you?
Oh, Hamon, not Almodovar. It was Bigas Lunas who copied him a lot.
I don't know what that means. So you in my box set.
It's not in there, is it?
You made me watch Hamon.
Yeah.
You don't
It's not in your box
nothing.
set, mate.
Right. So. Okay. So we asked for. Oh, hang on a second. Could you bear with me?
I could.
Bear with. I just want to try something.
Oh, yeah.
How do you reckon we do this? Would it be here? It would be here. Hang on. Here we go. It's no, it's emotes only, subscribers, followers only. Deleted. You can't turn it off. Hang on, let's go Google it. Hang on. Bear with. No, that's
how you...
hide it.
Yeah.
This could go one way or the other. We're going to do...
It'd be interesting.
You know we like to push boundaries. We're going to push your boundary. We like to push your boundaries sometimes. So, show times, delete it, subscribers, followers. Right. How do we... There's got to be a way of doing it without me asking. But it will be in there. It will be in the stream manager. Hang on. Stream disconnected. Store. Make sure enable followers only. Subscribers, latency, permissions, raids. No. All right, I'm going to ask you, and you're going to hate it, but it's got to be a way. Give me 1 second. Is it? No, I won't do it. Hang on.
Because I've seen it done, so it's
Yeah,
possible.
it's happening. We can do it. How do we turn off the chat? How do we turn off the chat? How do we turn off the chat? Gatford, you're not a mod anymore. You disobeyed me. How do we turn off the chat? 99p Prime Trial says, why? None of your business. How do we turn off the chat? No. Not how to go to emoji only. How to... So you're telling us we can't? No. Just expand. No. You're missing the point. Someone said just expand the window on the screen so you don't see it. No. We don't want you chatting. Okay, fine. Well, then we're going to do the best workaround I can do, which is going to be... That's the best workaround I can do. How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? So we have made it subscribers only. emotes only, and super slow chat. It's not perfect. Thank you, Claire. It's not perfect. But I tell you why. We noticed a few people last night. We've noticed it over the period of weeks. And a few people last night just merrily having their own little conversation. How can Mandy type? She's a mod. Mandy's a mod. Okay. A few people just having their own conversations that were distracting us. They weren't paying attention.
The thing was that it was like, it wasn't even about what we were doing here. It was, talking about current affairs, basically bringing the outside world in, that outside world that we try very hard to take you away from. So it was like going to a show and someone talking very loudly, reading the paper aloud. So should we try this out?
We will try this out. For a bit of the show, for the first hour of the show, we might lose a load of viewers.
If that would be interesting.
Oh, well. Right, now, why that slow mode isn't on? So what does slow mode? Require users to wait between sending messages. Subscribers can be exempted via partner affiliates settings. Okay. So, right. So why don't you just stop using the emotes now? Now you know that it works. Why don't you stop?
What, restraint?
Why don't you stop? Why don't you stop? Now that you know that it works and that you can do that, why don't you stop and focus on the show? Very close. Very close.
I thought it was subs only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you just calm down a bit? We know that you can do emotes. We know that. Why don't you just now slow down, calm down, and just stop doing them for a bit. And then focus on the show. And then we can get on with the show. And we won't have to time you out. Okay, first time out coming. Oh, I don't think I can in this mode.
Crikey.
Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So everybody just... We know you can use the emotes. We know that. So we've accepted that. That happens. So let's now just try and focus on the show, focus on the great quality entertainment you're about to get. Thank you, Star Chaser, for the sub. The great quality entertainment that we are going to provide you this evening.
We could always do a Zoom meeting. People want to chat, couldn't we?
We can't at the moment because we've got a guest coming on at 10 o'clock, but we could do it afterwards. But I don't want to. Here's the thing, right? I don't think the chat very often adds anything to the show. I think more often it detracts from the show. It detracts the focus. And that's what happens on Twitch, is that you have chat and stuff, but that doesn't mean that we have to like it, and that doesn't mean that we have to accept it. What it should mean is that we can play around with it and we can find out what works best for us. By the way, next week we're going to do an hour with no picture. Like a radio show.
We're not even joking.
Like a radio show. Maybe we do it this week. It's only Tuesday. Sorry, I was thinking it's Thursday. Maybe we do it tomorrow. You know, talk about getting rid of your your viewers.
Well,
everybody's calmed down. Thank you. Thank you. That's better, isn't it? That's better.
Oh, The phone number still works. So does Skype.
Yeah. So, whatever you were going to put in the chat, Mandy's on top form today.
She's got...
Whatever you were going to type in the chat, why don't you phone us up and say it? 0203 286 6370 is the phone number.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Or you can Skype us at TLNA. So why don't we do that? So instead of it being a... Why don't you make it a phone-in? And you can phone us now. How's about that? And we can wait.
Yeah.
Gone.
People still trying it.
We can wait. We can wait. Got a lot to get through tonight. We've got a guy coming on who's written a brilliant book about the Beatles. Just when you thought there were no more Beatles stories to tell, he's found one. He's coming on at 10. It's a really interesting book. Oh, I might... Have I dicked around with the settings on this? It's distinctly possible. Hello, former mod Gatford.
Is there an unmod request?
Well, you can't be. You are unmodded, so you
Right,
can't
so is
request to
there
be unmodded.
Can I? Well, I don't even know what I did.
I was repeatedly asking for for cream cheese to be banned.
Right.
And what did you do?
I don't know because I wasn't really paying attention because I was moving between a meeting to this. I apologise.
But you were paying attention enough to delete one message from cream cheese.
That's because there was a swear word, and I wasn't. And I fully.
What was this? What was the swear word?
It was the SHI1T word.
Shit.
Yeah. So
Right.
I fully admit I was coming from one meeting to another and not paying full attention. I had the volume down. So I didn't hear. There's no excuse, but I didn't hear your.
It just struck me as odd. Struck me as odd that you ignored the order to ban, but yet you deleted one of cream cheese.
Well, he'd spotted a separate infraction.
I spotted somebody said, "Are the mods not on till 9 o'clock?" And I wondered if that was in direct response to him posting a swear word. And I had the volume down, so I didn't hear your request. This is all above board.
Catherine, I'm going to hand this one over to you.
I think it's plausible. I don't think that Geralt would in any way defy you on purpose. He's normally such a good minion. And so on this occasion, I think we remod
He's back.
Geralt.
He's back.
Thank you, Kath. Yep. Thank you, Ian.
This is a dictatorship, but it can be benevolent.
Well...
Can be.
What does benign dictatorship
mean?
mean?
It means, for the best. But it's not always for... We don't always rule it for with good intention, do we?
I just do think... here's one of the things... Bones, because of you sharing that information, you're about to be timed out.
And stupid Pobby.
Oh no, Bones did it on a... Oh, he did it on a subscription, but there you go.
Thank you for the sub.
Here's the thing. We'll bring you back into the chat in a bit, I promise. It's a shame you can't just switch it off completely. The thing is... why is Roach Frags following me? Roach Frags, go away. This isn't for you. I want you to unfollow. How do I make someone unfollow me?
Hang on.
No, go away, Frags. This isn't for you, mate. This isn't for you. This isn't for you. This isn't your world. This isn't your world. It's too sophisticated for you, you little piece of fecal matter.
Jim Bowen.
Hey, Jim.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good
Is
evening.
this where you phone up to make an application to replace Gatford as the mod?
Well, sadly, his position has been filled by himself. And also, one of the prerequisites for being a mod is paying attention. And if you were doing that, you would have noticed.
When I started dialing, you hadn't put it
That was a
back as
sick
mod.
burn. That was a sick burn, Jim.
But I've got further evidence, because the other day when he arrived and said hello to everybody, I said, watch out, everyone. Gatford's here to time you all out. And he timed me out for 5 seconds.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was
Well,
outrageous.
he doesn't like impudence.
He's power crazy.
Yeah.
They often are his type.
Okay, well, if the vacancy's already filled, obviously I've got nothing to add.
How you doing, Jim? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I seem to have done something to my knee in my sleep, but that's a mystery. Don't know what. It's all swelled up last night, so I'm hobbling around. But other than that, I'm good.
Jim, you've introduced what is always a great phone-in, sleep injuries. Injuries that happen in your sleep. And first time I did this was absolute, 'cause I had a little doze in the hallway before the show. And when I woke up, I had a cut all the way there. And it was really deep, and blood was coming out. And I'd done it in my sleep. No idea how I did it. So, 0203 286 6370. How have you woken up? When have you woken up and found that you'd injured yourself in your sleep?
And that, my friends, is an actual topic.
That's a topic. Thank you, Jim.
No worries. Have a good one.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I worry that people are getting too... I'm not worried that people are getting pissed off, but I don't think turning off the chat is having the effect I would like it to have. So we're going to turn the chat on again. We're going to make it followers only mode for a bit. So click the follow button. That's all you got to do. But just bear in mind, I know followers can chat if they've followed for 10 minutes. No, let's go for 0 minutes. Let's go for that. Let's do that. Turn slow mode.
Let's see what happens.
Just bear, and we can stop timing people out now, guys. Thank you. I think let's clear the chat. I like that. You can clear the chat. But just bear in mind, right? I don't know if this counts, but I woke up having a heart attack.
Mike, that is a story. Why aren't you ringing us?
Skype us TLNA or call 0203 286 6370. That is what we want. Just have a think, right? Occasionally the chat will add to it. Quite often, actually. But more often, I think the chat detracts from us. And it also distracts me. So instead of kind of... And it's good that there's a community. And I don't know. I don't want to sound too fascist in this. And I don't quite know what the right answer is. And people that aren't familiar with us but are familiar with Twitch will possibly say, but this is what Twitch is. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it has to be what this Twitch is. It doesn't mean that we have to follow the constrictions, the constructs that have been created by Twitch on this show. We can do it differently.
Well, the thing is, there are a lot of you.
There we
here.
go. The chat is part of Twitch. It's like texting.
But it's
lazy by name.
But here's the thing: it's part of other people's Twitch. It doesn't need to be. We could use it differently. And there are a lot of you here. And some people aren't joining in because there's a lot of back and forth between. You know, if it ends up being like you're sort of texting a mate, that's not quite it, is it?
But also, lazy chat is part of Twitch. It's like texting. We don't have to accept. Just because it's part of it and everyone else is doing it, we don't have to accept it. We're allowed to ask questions. We're allowed to kind of push boundaries and change things.
Streams need the chat. Right, here's the thing.
No, they don't.
If we're a streamer on our own with 5 people watching, it can be more of a to and fro. But us here with 600 people watching, do you see the difference?
But also streams don't need the chat. You think that because every stream you've been on has used the chat. But that doesn't mean that we have to. Streams don't need the chat. We don't. You don't. And also there are ways round it. If you're waking up with pins and needles is not injuring yourself in your sleep, Jesus Christ. If there's someone that you really want to talk to, they do need it's free. I'm really sorry, Lazy. If you could put that into English, that would be great, man. That would be so great. They do need it's free. It's my mistake. I don't understand it. But if you want to chat with someone, you can whisper to them. There's a whisper function. that you can do. And if whispering isn't working, well then swap numbers or swap emails. There's so many other ways. Streamers can control the conversation still, though. But you're ignoring. Just pick the best questions out. No.
Here we go.
You're ignoring what we're saying.
This is Dave Harlow. If you turn chat off, then I reckon folks will find another off-Twitch method to interact.
Yeah.
Be our guest.
Exactly. Streamers can control the conversation, but it's not about controlling the conversation. It's it very rarely. It's free then calling you. Lazy, I'm really sorry. I don't.
It's freer than. Well,
no, that's not what he's saying. It's free then calling you. You're going to have to try harder. Skype is free. There we go. Let's take a call.
But also, it's not a passive thing. It's not like watching someone play a game or watching someone paint in their hot pants. We kind of like to talk to people.
Hello, Dave.
About painting their hot pants, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I appreciate your hot pants, obviously, Dave. It wasn't a burn on
Scottish
you.
Mike, I can see you calling in. I will call you straight back after this. And of course, what we're doing is it's like going on Twitter and saying, I'm coming off Twitter and all social media because it's bad. Well, you're doing it on there. And we're now obviously engaging with this. Fancy Ass Host says streamer versus chat. This is a new and interesting idea. Yeah, isn't it?
Well,
isn't it? And that's great. That's great. How would you thank gifters if their whispers are off? Well, we would still see it and we could still thank them. So that point is invalid. No one has yet put up a valid reason of why we need the chat, apart from, but everyone else does it.
Yeah.
That's not a good enough reason.
We've never done stuff because everyone else does it. In fact, that makes us want to not do it.
Hello, Dave. How may we be of assistance to thee?
Well, no, just saying, it is strange that when you say, "Oh, we've got a topic," and people start talking in the chat about their topic rather than picking the phone up. You know, it's quite odd.
I am also aware that Mike. I'm going to call you back. I am also aware, Dave, that we could be wrong on this, but we're allowed to ask the question and we're allowed to play around with it. And if people are watching this going, oh, they're gonna stop doing the chat tonight, I'm off, and they go off, well then that's great. And if the numbers don't go down massively, okay, well then we'd have to take that on board and weigh up the pros and cons of that. If people don't fancy it tonight, that's absolutely fine. But the only excuse I've seen so far for having it is everyone else does it. That's what Twitch is. Well, that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
So things tend to fly by when it's going really fast. Things tend to fly by. So the idea that all these great ideas are flowing through. No, they're not. They're getting sort of steamrolled by yes, no, yes, I agree.
And also, it has to be said, some people do dominate the chat.
Oh, it's very cliquey.
Very cliquey, and there's people that and I'm not going to mention any names, and people will be going, he's talking about me. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But there are people that go into the chat to draw attention to them. Whether they do it consciously or subconsciously, they go in and they put stuff that will draw attention away from the show and will draw attention to them. And that's not helpful. And
no doubt,
I think that's disrespectful. People are saying about the anxiety issues of calling in. Well, you don't have to call in.
Anxiety issues. You want to talk about anxiety issues?
This guy was going to jump in front of a goddamn train once, and he's called in. I get it. Right. Kerry says, I think it adds interaction for people who don't want to phone in. Social anxiety isn't kind. Well, what I noticed, Kerry, is two things, and I'm not having a go. It's the second time you've sent that message, so that's kind of, and I spotted it the first time, so I'm not having a go. But also, why do you need to interact? And I'm asking that as a question. I don't know. Why do you need, not you specifically, Keris, all of you, why do you need to interact? It's, if you were listening, and me and Catherine are old and we come from a radio background, okay? And I'll never forget when I went into work at LBC once and there was a new screen and I said to my boss, what is this? He said, oh, this is great. People can now text into the show. And I was like, okay. And on that first day, phone call numbers just dropped down. Okay, and then Twitter came along, and the numbers dropped even more, and they kept dropping. You don't need to interact with the show. Point scoring, nice. Who's point scoring, Rob? I don't know what that means. And here's another thing.
Oh, the hit and run is the increase as well. That's what we get, and that's what I noticed when they put text on the radio as well. People who just want to have a jibe and run away. You can't have a proper conversation.
Yeah.
So you can throw a grenade and run away, but that doesn't really contribute, does it?
I don't know what point scoring means. Is that a dig at something I've said? Well, if it is, that comment, I didn't get it from that comment. Is that a pop at somebody else that was in the chat? So, you're now having to ask you to write an essay to explain your initial point. And where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? By the way, I'm not saying this is the way it's going to be. I'm saying we're having this conversation and I'm really keen to play with it. And I'm really interested how angry some of you are getting.
Yeah, that's what I find really interesting. Just because we tried it.
I think it's fun to muck about with the medium, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Twitch isn't exactly that old. It's what can you do with it?
And how long did we do it? Was it even 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I remember on the old on the radio show, used to do no callers for one night, and then he burnt the station down.
Yeah.
We were the only show that got callers, so it's the thing.
That's the point you were making. Yeah.
And Rob hasn't clarified his point, so now I'm thinking, God, Rob's having a pop at me, but I don't know why. And maybe you're not. So I don't know. It allows us to share and interact to this cool community. If people like me are scared on the phone, it's nice to have some sort of connectivity group, and I get that. But you could go off and start a WhatsApp group or a Twitter. No, you could go and start a Facebook page. There's loads of different ways, and I don't. Tone is hard to judge through text, says Super Vapors. Exactly.
Isn't it, though?
We won't be starting a Discord. I won't start a Discord. I don't like Discord.
Lazy Monster, you have forgot this is not the radio. No, we haven't. But what we haven't forgotten...
You forgot to put the N in Monster.
What we haven't forgotten is that we try new stuff. And we're not just going to do it like everybody else. And I think most people, certainly people that have been following us for a while, get it.
And now Rob is saying, I'm not having a pop at all, which is great. But I don't know because of the chat. But no, it's interesting. And what's interesting is how protective some of you are getting around the possibility of us not enjoying the chat as much as you do. And I think you should have a little think about why you're getting so upset about something that isn't important. About something that isn't important at all. The show is me, the show is Catherine, and the show to a certain extent is the calls that we get. We're not doing a Discord. Discord is not happening under our name. I'm enjoying this, Dave. I feel like I'm telling everyone off. I'm not telling everyone off. We're just
suggesting maybe we try something different.
Just kicking ideas around, and it's interesting, isn't it? When you just you pick up the rug to give it a little beat, and some dust comes off. How upset everyone gets.
I think it's a sign of where we are at the moment, and maybe 6 months of weirdness has made everyone just a little bit more protective of their connections, but. We're in a world now where your boss can send you a message at midnight and kind of the timer starts as to when you're going to respond, and you're going to get judged for it, right? How about just relinquishing a little bit of control?
But also, this is, as you always say, this is a show unlike any other. It's a phone-in show. It's not any other phone-in shows on Twitch. So the fact you're doing something different shouldn't be that much of a surprise.
Stu says, could you, as host, just ignore the chat but let it continue? Yes. We could do that.
But then
Anatomical Bomb says Twitch describes itself as this. Twitch is where millions of people come together to chat, interact, and make their own entertainment together. Okay, but
that's not what Twitch have hired us to do.
it doesn't have to be that. And also, you can still do all of those things. You can chat, interact, and make your own entertainment together without having the chat function. You can still do all of those things without having the chat function.
Just for a moment, just feel what you're feeling now. If you're one of the people who is worried about maybe losing the chat function, and just ask yourself where that comes from. I'm not being preachy or anything like that, but just have a little
Make it what
wonder.
you want, but it's what people expect. We know what they expect.
Yeah.
We know what they expect.
Do you always get what you expect?
And it's good sometimes to surprise people.
I mean,
What about-
Sorry.
I was going to say, what about if you get something other than what you expect? Is that still cool? It used to be called a surprise. It used to be quite fun.
This is DJ Risk says this is very condescending.
Is it though?
Why do you find it condescending? Because it isn't meant to be, and I don't think many others are finding it that. I think the idea of explaining, if you find the idea of explaining our thought processes and explaining why we're disagreeing with the points made condescending, then I feel really sorry for you, because you, for some reason, are upset or scared by ideas being kicked around. Condescending? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I do find it interesting how personally some people are taking it.
Will it affect the viewer's experience beneficially? We don't know. That's why we're having the conversation. Because we don't know.
I think people enjoy the quiz night, and I don't think that's like any other night or any other.
No.
That sort of ignores the chat for most of it, and just has people phoning in, and the chat become a sort of audience to it. So
Have you ever injured yourself in your sleep, Dave?
Me, I was trying to think of that before I rang up. No, not that I can think of.
Thank you very much for your call. There we go. And that's it.
He's one of the lucky ones.
Scottish Mike, and then we've got someone ending 076.
Oh, the Smiths. Haven't had face-to-face contact with anyone since March other than my wife and mum and dad. I'm sorry if by chatting you see it as wrong or upsetting you both.
No, not at all.
No,
Haven't said that at all. Hello, Mike.
I knew this was going to happen. Just heading back down to the toilet after having a pee.
Okay, would you...
Oh, right, aye, so the story, eh? Well, I don't know if you remember, I phoned you in a couple of months ago, and we were talking about health problems with my lungs. I was the guy that had the bad lung. I don't know, you'll probably not remember. I'm not a memorable guy.
Okay.
But anyway, so I had bad lungs, but I had my heart attack. So this is probably not meant to be a funny story, but...
This is the person who said in the chat, I had a heart attack in my sleep, if that counts.
Oh, yes, bring it
right,
on.
Right.
This is it, injuries in your sleep. Yes, please, a heart attack will do. Thank you for the subs, Durings.
So my wife works early in the morning. She's left. She's off to work.
Can I just stop you 1 second, Mike? Lazy Mo
Yeah.
You're not a sub. The views are up when chat is on. We've never turned chat off, so you can't do that. I'm yay close to banning you. Sorry, Mike, away you go.
Right, aye. So it's early in the morning. My wife, she's already left for work, maybe 7:30 or so.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I feel the pain in my chest. First time. And then feel the pain, you kind of get a pain in the back of your arm as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets really intense. I think, oh God, I think I know what this is.
Uh-oh.
So, collect my thoughts a minute. What am I going to do here? So, okay, I'm going to have to go to the hospital. It's that bad.
Wow.
And I think, right, okay, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to need to contact my wife, let her know what's going on. She's going to be worried. I know she's going to be worried. So, okay, what can I do? First thing, I'm not going to the hospital in this state. I'm just in my bed. I need a shower and a shave.
Okay.
So, I've not had a shower and a shave. Got myself together, got dressed, and then the pain started coming back again. I thought, oh, come on, I have to sit a wee minute again. So I'm sitting there getting dressed and looking around the place, worrying about my wife coming home in a panic. Saying, okay, what can I do to make this better? So I'll go off and I do some dishes, a bit dusting, some housework, as you do. I think, okay, right, pain's easing off again. I need to get a move. We'll get up to the hospital. So I get outside. I think I'll just sit down for a minute because there's no smoking in the hospitals anymore, is there? I'll just have a fag before I go. I sat in the fag. I thought, oh, pain's getting really bad now. I better not wait in an ambulance. So I jumped in the car and I drove myself up to the hospital. Maybe about 2 miles. It's not a big journey. And got in there. And then,
yeah, but you could have had you could have had the full Russell on the way there driving.
Well, I think I would have been able to put the brake on before that ended. But so I got there, and you know what? There wasn't a parking space. Accident emergency, so it's forced Valley Royal. I had to park at the other end of the hospital and walk the whole length of the hospital. It's a woman half a mile. Made it. And I got to the woman. I was like, I don't really be all dramatic at times, but you know, I've got a bit of pain in my chest and down the back of my arm. She's okay. Just sit there where I can see you. And within 2 minutes, somebody come out and shouts my name, and you feel kind of guilty because there's like 8 or 9 people sitting there with their legs up in the air and things in their arms. Because I've heard you get pulled right in front of them all. But then they put me on the angiogram thing and done some tests on my heart, and sure enough, I was having a heart attack. So I got about a month full of morphine poured into me.
Beautiful. Put
into the back of an ambulance and off through to Edinburgh for some surgery, which was also quite cool because you got to stay awake. I got to watch on the monitor when they put a wire in my arm.
No, I wouldn't like that.
A wire in your wrist and they push it away up the vein until it gets to where the blockage is in your heart.
I don't want to be awake for that stuff.
Oh, do you know what I did? So while he's doing that, he's got the wire way up in there, you know?
Yeah.
And I just reached up and I scratched my eyebrow and the surgeon was like, no, don't move. I was like, what's wrong? If you move while I've got this wire in your artery and I rip it, it's game over. I was like, okay. So then I had to keep on shouting on the nurse to come and scratch my eyebrow for me.
Shitting on the nurse?
No, shouting the nurse.
Shouting, just shitting on the nurse.
God, if you can't scratch your eyebrow, you can't do that to the nurse.
Shit on the nurse. Mike, I have to ask you a question.
No, I didn't say that.
Did you die?
Well, you know, that's the good thing. I reckon I'm still here, so I'm a happy guy.
Mike, it's good to talk. I got enough! Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. We're glad you're still with us. 0203 286 6370.
I mean, when I was in labour, I kind of went round and stalled and did all that stuff, but I was only going to have a baby, not a heart attack.
Well, hang on. Hello.
Hello,
this is Ian and Catherine. Who's this?
Hello, my name's Tom.
Hello, Tom. How can we help you?
Well, I don't really need any help. I was just basically calling up to say hello. Hello.
I'm guessing there was a little bit more to it than that when you dialed the number.
Well, you're talking about dreams and stuff, aren't you? Not dreams, sleep and hurting yourself in your sleep.
Injuries in your sleep.
Injuries. Well, I've got sleep apnea, I believe. So.
Now, is that when you stop? Is that when you stop breathing?
That is when you stop breathing. Yeah.
Wow. How often? How many times a night do you stop breathing?
Well, I probably wake up about 7 times a night.
And you've woken up because you're not breathing, and so your brain or your body or something is going, you need to wake up and breathe.
Basically, yeah.
Wow, flipping heck, man. Do you have one of those masks?
No, I should probably get one, shouldn't I?
Maybe. I think, if it was 3 times a night, you'd probably do without, but 7.
And how do you know it's that? How do you know it's that? Because I get up 3 or 4 times
That's
a night
for a wee, though,
for a
isn't it?
pee. Yeah. So how do you know it's sleep apnea?
Well, basically, people have, ex-girlfriends and stuff.
Partners,
They've sort of said that I make some horrific noises when I'm asleep. You see, and they get quite worried about me. Sometimes I can go for a couple of minutes without making it, and then all of a sudden you gasp for air. You see?
Oh, mate!
I think a lot of it comes down to you've had a bit of a problem with sort of addiction yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. Are you suggesting that you might have created some form of nasal damage?
Well, not just that, but there's also when you drink alcohol, you tend to sort of relax into you sort of pass out, and then all of a sudden, I think it's to do with your throat becomes relaxed and whatnot, and it's sort of difficult on you.
Well, if you drink, you snore more, which if I got this right, is kind of like the sort of the start of sleep apnea is snoring as cavities are getting narrower and narrower, and of course the real thing is everything just kind of shuts down.
Basically, yes.
Holy shit! Have you ever, Tom, died?
Not yet. But I've also had some pretty crazy dreams, I believe, because of it. I think drinking a lot of alcohol, as far as I'm aware, it can play havoc with your dreams. You don't get a very deep sleep, so you're in sort of I forgot what state it is when you're not really sleeping in a deep sleep. But I've woke up sort of. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I've woke up sort of punching the wall. And stuff like that.
Wow, no. I used to sleepwalk when I was younger, when I was sort of about 12 to 16. I would sleepwalk, and some of it I remember, and some of it I don't. I used to walk around my bedroom banging on the walls a lot, apparently. I
used to sleepwalk, and apparently I can speak German in my sleep.
Okay.
Wow.
And I don't really speak German.
Tom, stay safe. Thank you for that.
I think it might just be the fact that my mum...
Drew says, I smoke weed. I haven't had a dream in 20 years. Lol. Well, first of all, smoking weed is really boring. Secondly, when I smoke weed, I still had dreams. Thirdly, Jesus, grow up. I tell you, I travelled through time the other day. When I was a kid, my mum... So do you call in? We don't need to because we're here, but yes, you call in. When I was a kid, my mum would sing Mein Hat, Hat, Dry Ecken, Hat, Mein Hat, or something like that.
My hat, it's got three what?
3 corners.
Uh-huh.
My 3 corners says my hat. And for some reason, it was just like a thing, and she would sing it to us as a kid, and we're like, oh, that's weird. And I was just getting ready for bed the other night. I heard the boys in the other room. Mein Hat, Hat, Dry Ecken. Oh, time travel. 40 years later, they're singing the same stupid German song about a hat having 3 corners. It was nuts. It was beautiful, and it was a real kind of connection across the generations. It was lovely, but it was weird. This is the Late Night Alternative, and there are so many ways you can support us. Just click follow. That's the main way you can support us. Just click follow. If that doesn't work for you, then, or if you want to do more, if you've got Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime with Twitch, and you can subscribe to us. You have to keep doing it every month. It won't auto-renew. And me and Kath get a $5 to split between us. And this is our job, right? So it's not begging, this is passing the hat around. This is our job. This is the way things are funded these days. If you haven't got Amazon Prime, thank you, Rhonda Landy, for subscribing with that. If you haven't got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe with money. And there are 3 tiers, 1, 2 and 3. They get more expensive. They don't really offer you much more. It just shows that you're supporting us. But there will be a tier 3 production meeting this Saturday if you're free.
Okay, I can be available.
This Saturday there will be a tier 3 production meeting, and I will find out who all the tier 3s are on Friday. So you've got to have signed up for it by midday on Friday. How about that? And I will just after midday on Friday, I will send all of the tier 3s a link for the production meeting where you come and you hang out with me and Kath, and we have a laugh, and it's a bit silly, and we kind of pretend that we're quite bossy idiots, and you can put forward ideas for the show, and we record it, and we put it up on YouTube. So there's that. You can also, thank you, Spider, subscribing. You can also go to paypal.me/Ian Lee, IAINLEE, paypal.me/Ian Lee. And any donation you make there, it's like passing the hat or tipping your waiter. Any donation there gets split 50-50 with me and Catherine. It's how we make our money. A couple of other ways, a little bit of business, is we play 6 minutes of adverts for people who aren't subscribers. Sometimes subscribers see them as well. I don't quite know why, but we play 6 minutes of adverts, which is maybe a little bit more than some of the other streamers, but this is our job. And also, we get sponsored by really, really cool people.
Oh my God.
If you want to sponsor us, we're busy for the next few weeks, but send an email to the email address on there. We're sponsored by Viz, guys. We're sponsored by Viz.
Now, if you're from the UK, this needs no introduction. If you're an American, and I know there are a few of you in here tonight, some of whom have tried to phone us and their phones have shouted at them, but Viz is like a really, really silly adult magazine. Not
There's
that
a story
kind of
in there
adult.
this month called The Secret Life of Walter Shitty, about a man who shits on people's desks.
When I say adult magazine, not that kind of adult.
No.
But you can get 3 copies for £1 with this.
And if after that you're bored of it, you can cancel it. So it's subscribe.viz.co.uk. Someone's put the link in the chat /TLNA. Click on that, subscribe, and it helps the show. We don't get any money from it, but I think if enough people do it, Viz might come back and help us out. We'll have a look at the page. They've made a special late night alternative page for us, which is great. I love Viz. When lockdown started and I was really low, and I thought I need to do so. I need a small thing that I know will keep me happy, and I subscribed to Viz. And I thought I meant to do it when I came out of the jungle, because I remember talking to Shappy about Viz, and she was saying, it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still very funny. And so I did it. And so please, if you can do it as a Christmas present for someone, it's a lovely Christmas present. Subscriptions, great, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
The gift that keeps on giving. So go and have a look at that. So thank you to Viz. We're thrilled with that. And we're going to be in Viz, issue 300. 34sp.com. It's an ethical web hosting business.
Web hosting with a heart, right? They don't just do what they're supposed to do. They go above and beyond for everyone. For the people that work for them, they get the living wage. They don't just get minimum wage. They also get really, really well looked after. Before the government said, right, everyone go home, lock down, wear masks, all that business, they'd already been sent home.
They'd sent them home.
And they'd already been given masks at a time when people weren't able to get them. They really are very well looked after, the people that work there, but also you as a customer, really well looked after. Their customer service is brilliant, okay? So if you're not used to working with a website, they can talk you through it and they can take you through step by step like you're 5. If you are quite advanced, again, they can help you out, do something... totally flashy, yeah, exactly. So 34sp.com, even better than that, you can get 3 months free with the code TLNA.
So so that's 2 excellent offers. You can get your first 3 divorces for free with GE.
But you're paying for the weddings, I'm afraid.
You can't. Richard Gregorian is a strange old fish. He's been a supporter of us for ages, and we can't work out why. We can't work out why.
He's a very intelligent man.
Exactly. He's a bold gentleman. I don't know if there's anything in that.
That means virile.
Apparently so. I bet he is. I bet he thrusts. He's been coming to see us for years. And he will come and see our live shows and has been so supportive. And I know he's been supportive as well to some of the other kind of like offshoot streams that some of the people that listen. Anyway, he's a good guy. And gelaw.co.uk is a responsible, ethical divorce company where they don't try and stir the shit up. They're going to stir this shit up. They try and make it as painless as possible for you and for your ex-partner, so that if you've got kids, it makes the whole transitional journey better for the kids. Poseidon Safety Management. These guys are bastards.
If you're a baddie, they are, because they are safety management, right? They've got the biggest team of dogs in Devon and Cornwall. They do manned guarding, they do foot patrols, and they do patrols in cars as well. They recruit from the local areas, so these people know and care about their communities, and they'll do their best for your particular needs. Give them a shout. They can talk you through what you need and make recommendations. If it's not them, they say they won't take your money. They will give you some other suggestions.
Also, it's a lesson that we could all learn from. They want to make Nick, who is the governor who set up the business, wants to make his local area better.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to, is he wants to make it better, which is why he offers free patrols for schools and nurseries and pubs and things that have been broken into. And why would you not? Are you going to need Poseidon Safety Management if you're in Devon and Cornwall? Probably not. Being completely honest about it, but you just never know. So just store the name store it in the back here, and you never know. And also check them out on Twitter at Poseidon Safe, because they're very, very funny. Very, very, very funny. Let's mention some of these topics. You can still call in, but we're going to have our guest in 5 minutes. We've got Jen Roberts coming on, who has written a really good book that I have read. About the Beatles. I quite like the Beatles.
I noticed that. You do mention them a fair bit. I think they're quite good.
I think they're all right.
I think they're going places.
I think they're all right.
Not anymore. But...
let's see. Where is it now?
So earlier on Twitter, you asked the Twitter sphere to send us topics, and they came up with some topics. Now, whether they're good or not, we'll let you decide.
So what we're going to do, we'll just go through some of these. Then we're going to speak to Jem.
I would like to call, but I can't pronounce my R's very well, so a bit self-conscious.
Catherine, speak to Leslie, please.
We have people that phone this show who would not get on anywhere else and would not feel comfortable anywhere else. This group of people that you're with now and you're chatting with now are the coolest, most accepting bunch, right? And we will give you as much time as you need. You can't pronounce your R's very well, you know.
We have we have callers who have got really quite severe physical disabilities. We have a gentleman called Jerry calling up who's got very severe Parkinson's, and some days we can understand him and some days we can't make out what he's saying, and we'll sit and listen for a bit, and if we can't make it out we'll say, Jerry, why don't you give us a call tomorrow? And he's been calling us for the last he used to call me Absolute, I think. So he's been calling us for years. So
he has good days and bad days, but we always give him time. We've had people with really bad stammers. We've had people who have other sort of physical disabilities that affect their speech. If you ever get to the point where you feel like you're ready to talk to us, we'd be more than happy to have a chat.
And also, if anyone takes the piss in the chat, because this is the internet, vroom,
they're out.
Vroom, vroom. It's the internet. We can't quite control it, you know. So, but we can, vroom, kick him out.
Yeah, you will have your revenge.
You exactly. So, but also no pressure. You don't want to call. You don't want to call. It's fine. It's absolutely
all good.
fine. We get it, man.
It's not obligatory.
But it is.
It's nice.
Would be nice. It would be nice. But don't feel you have to. And I know there'll be lots of very good, kind-hearted people in the chat going, "Go on, Leslie, do it." You don't have to.
You'll know when you're ready. You'll know.
You will know when you're ready. I tell you what. Let's hold off going through these topics.
Okay.
Because we've got a lot. I'm trying to call, but I'm American. Kiski, you would need to do the 0044.
And then take the take the first zero off.
So it would be this 0044 203 286 637.
You put 293 there.
What is it? 203.
203.
203. So that would be the number that you would need to call. Yeah.
Have a little go.
Or you can Skype TLNA.
Anyway.
First time in 3 weeks. Miss much? Yeah, you have. Oh, this is what I meant to say as well. I meant to say this at the start of the show. Let me do it now and then we'll get Jem. This is a podcast as well. And we don't mention it enough, right? And the podcast is really important for us because we actually make a few quid off it. Not a lot, but it all kind of goes into the pot. So what we do every day, Catherine makes kind of like 30 to 45, maybe a little bit longer sometimes. It's a good show. Best of podcasts. We take out all the boring bits and pieces. We take out Dave's calls and Gatford's calls and all of that. And we kind of put it all into a podcast, which you can download. And if we have a special guest, we put them out as a separate podcast as well. And I keep meaning to mention this, and we should mention this more and more because I don't think a lot of you know that it exists as a podcast. And it's called it's not called The Rabbit. It's called The Late Night Alternative.
Yeah.
And you can get it on Acast or iTunes or Spotify or any podcast services. The Late Night Alternative, it's like a little black and red picture of me and Catherine, and it comes out every day. And if you could subscribe, if you could like, if you could share, then that would be awesome. Shorty says, I spent ages holding my phone, getting up the courage to call, and then I bump into the guest time. Anxiety fail. Well, the guest isn't going to be on for the whole show, Shorty. The guest ain't going to be on for the whole show. Where's my Zoom? Give me that Zoom, baby. Is that Zoom? Yeah. Is that Zoom? Yes.
Arctic Nike. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the subscription. I've had to change my name to Ian, I-A-N, on Zoom because I'm doing a lot of NA and AA meetings in America, and I just can't be bothered with the
lane
every
every time.
Now I just want to get the link for. Hang on, bear with me. Tell you what, let's just play a little cheeky advert thing while I just do a little bit of business, if it'll let me. Yes, it will let me. I like it being. This is nice vibe tonight. It's a really nice vibe tonight, Catherine.
Yeah.
It's a really nice vibe that we've got going here tonight at Fab Fools. Fab Fools is I just want to get the link right so that you can buy. Oh, why is my
Why?
Why have I been blocked? Right. Why have I been blocked? I can't go to the page where you can buy the book. There we go. We can get it there. We get it from there for some reason.
Wow, are they selling like filthy books on there as well?
Filthy books. I'm going to put a link in, right? So this is the book that we're talking about. So go and have a little look at that. And I can see Jem is waiting. This won't work. It never does. And I might have messed around with the settings. That's the right microphone. That's the right thing. Come on, Jem.
Let's do this.
I got a feeling that Jem is technically inept. And I say that with love, as I am. I've just got a feeling that
I don't know. I can hear something.
Jem.
Hello.
Oh, now, see, I've muffed it up because you're coming through the wrong thing. Stay there. Everybody cool out. Right, now we should be able to hear you, Jem. We cannot... First of all, can you say hello to us?
Hello, Ian.
I demand that every guest, every person I meet, before I speak to you, you must say hello to me. Hey, man, how you doing?
Hello to you both.
Hey!
This is Jem Roberts, and writer. Now, you wrote the Hugh and Laurie book that I keep meaning to get, and then go, I can't get it because I've got like 200 books that I've bought and I've not read. Let me get that down to a manageable number, and then I can read it. But you wrote that. How long ago was that? That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Soupy Twists. Yes, that was actually my last comedy book. Yes, that came out. My last book, but one. But yeah, this is. I do comedy books and I do. Hippie folktale things.
Okay.
But Soupy Twists was my last one in that sense, yes.
Okay. The book that you've got out now, Fab Fools.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you thought you knew everything about them bloody Beatles, there it is. It's a great cover. Who did the cover?
It's Steve.
Steve did it.
I like Steve.
Proper official Beatles. Beano artist. Genuine Beano design. Steve, yes, ask me tomorrow and I'll have his surname.
I don't ever want to know Steve's surname.
We know Beano Steve.
I don't want to know Steve's surname. I flipping love the Beatles, but what I love more than the Beatles, Jem, is reading books about the Beatles. And before we've been kind of Facebooking each other for ages, and he was going to come on the radio show, and then we all know what happened there. And anyway, but before you sent me this, me and my sister are having a great conversation going, I could just spend the rest of my life reading books about the Beatles, and I would be so happy. But they're all about the music, Let It Be, the breakup, the 70s, which are all great. But this is different, man. You've not stuck to the formula, and you have done a different Beatles book. What are you thinking, you arrogant toad?
Well, you see, I'm sort of coming from an opposite angle in that I've got whole library walls full of Beatles books.
Yeah.
And I just said to myself, no more. I'm not going to buy anymore. I'm not going to read anymore.
Wow.
And until Paul and Ringo themselves start, really letting it go what actually happened in those back rooms and God knows what else.
Yeah.
I just thought I'm not going to read another one from John Lennon's Char Lady from 1966 and the rest of it. There's just too many books on the Beatles, and they are my religion. They've always sort of taken the place of a religion for me, really, having no religious belief. So I've read every possible angle on the Beatles, and comedy has been my thing for a very long time. Having a Clue and all these other different things, and Blackadder and sort of big things. And that was the only realization that came to me is there's just this one ridiculous virgin snow as far as you can see in the whole world of Beatlology.
Yeah.
And that is the humor, the X factor, the comedy. What is the difference between, the Beatles and the Stones for a start? And we know the Stones have got a sense of humor, but they didn't do panto.
Well,
That's
did you
one of the
see
key
that?
things.
Did you ever see that sitcom that Mick Jagger was in, where they pretend to they try and kidnap him?
You get mixed up with Stella Street here?
No, it was a real thing. No one saw it. It was maybe 10 or 15 years ago. It was called The Knights of Something. And it was an American sitcom. And the whole premise was these people wanted to get rich. So, of course, the best way to get rich is to kidnap Mick Jagger. And it started off really well. And Mick was obviously only did like a day's filming. And it was a really funny clip of him kicking a football in a child's face. And then as the series went on, they obviously couldn't get any more access to Mick Jagger, so they changed it to like some crap American celebrity.
It was available.
That was
They should have got Phil Cornwell in. That
It
was
should have got Phil Cornwell, but it was a really good show. Someone in the chat, no, it wasn't that. Someone in the chat will tell me what it was. But yes, the Beatles,
and he was great on the Monty Python thing as well. I'll give him that. That was a real when Mick Jagger. But
when he's talking about the Ruttles.
Was he? Oh, and well, okay. Mick Jagger is obviously in the book.
Mick Jagger's a funny guy.
Yeah, he was. He showed his comic credentials with.
But the
with
Beatles,
and
I'd seen pictures of this, and I never read great details. The Beatles did panto.
What?
Like a kind of weird. Describe it, Jem, because it's kind of panto, but it's not. But it's more than you'd think it would be for the Beatles.
It was about 2 years. I mean, what it comes down to is Brian Epstein loving the theatre and having the biggest entertainment package in the world. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the key things about doing Fab Fools and why it's a kind of an unexplored area of Beatlology.
Just going to put the link in the chat while you're talking so that people can
It's just the simple fact that they didn't have a rock and roll industry to work within at the time. They were inventing it as they went along. They were part of the variety world, which was summer season and was panto, and there weren't rock tours. There was no such thing. So they didn't really know how to fit the Beatles in. So obviously Brian Epstein, he loved the theatre, he booked a theatre, and he had all these different acts, and he put them on. And obviously they played rock and roll music, but what were they going to do in between? They did these weird little sketches, and he only managed to convince them to do it for 2 years running at the very, very height of Beatlemania. And the second, I mean, as we could see, really, that they built up to the height of Beatlemania, and then one by one, they started to just get rid of the things that once they had the power to say, no, I don't want to do that, thank you very much. And on top of that list was panto, especially for someone like George. But for a while there, they were quite happy to drag up and put on all sorts of different costumes and try and perform whatever had been scraped together for them. But yeah, after a couple of years, I think the George Harrison line was, Mr. Brian Epstein may put on Mr. Brian Epstein's pantomime, but we're not going to be doing it anymore.
Jeff, we're losing you ever so slightly. Can you hit? Is there something you can hit?
Oh. I can hit myself.
It's just gone a little bit clicky.
Going to do a hard reset on his own head.
Don't do a hard reset. Don't worry. This is all good. But we'd arranged for this tomorrow, and I said to Jem, "You all right for doing this tomorrow?" Oh shit! I was convinced it was tonight.
All right, so
and for the first time ever, it wasn't me that got it wrong. And I said, "Oh, don't worry. It's the show's a car crash. You come on any time you want. You know, it's all."
I find that panto element you were talking about though really interesting, because I guess it was like, from what I know of the Beatles, they were taught how to sort of max show, and then it got kind of serious, didn't it?
Well, they were very. I mean, the thing about them is they were very. It was this, you know, that you look at early TV appearances. There's that weird TV appearance with Gay Byrne and Ken Dodd, and it feels to me like a tipping point where they could go full on LE, you know, light entertainment.
Yeah.
Or they could become the greatest rock and roll band in the world, and it kind of hangs in that balance for a bit, and then they finally managed to shake off that kind of light entertainment vibe. But you're right, there was nothing before them to pave the way. They were always, you know, the closest rivals were the Stones, who were always 2 or 3 steps behind them. So they could look at what the Beatles did and go, well, we're not doing that shit.
Yeah.
But it was the Beatles were the ones that were pushing all the doors open, weren't they, really?
Well, yeah, it was all experimental, obviously, at the time. It had never been done before. You know, even on the second panto, they even had Jimmy Savile presenting as a Yeti. So they really didn't know what they were doing for a while there.
The humour is, you know, I do enjoy their press conferences, but I really wonder if you know, when they're going to America, how did you get to America? We turned left at Greenland and all that. I do wonder.
And the Americans were kind of taken aback by that, and then eventually kind of charmed by it, weren't they?
They were charmed by it, but I wonder if you put all of them together back to back.
If they're the same.
If they're the same, or if it would be as much fun as the 60-second, 2-minute clips that we get to see, the condensed kind of greatest hits.
There's a point. It's like, Dolly Parton. If you follow Dolly Parton enough, you'll hear her trotting out the same line over and over again. And it's a shame, really, because she probably got away with it back in the days before social media. But now everyone kind of documents everything. So it's not so easy to trot that stuff out, is it?
Well, how aware were they that they were being funny at those press conferences?
Well, there is the whole Scouse thing, really.
Yes.
The simple fact that, how they couldn't be anything but funny, really, coming from where they came from. It was just their automatic instinct when asked any question was to be Scouse about it. So I think it was just second nature, really, to them. But, I've been working on this book for so long, I did actually write to Sir George Martin about it.
Oh, bloody hell.
Wow.
About all this kind of interview stuff. And he did actually say, to be honest, they were really funny guys, but maybe their humour doesn't work on the page from those kind of press conferences.
Yeah.
He was thinking that maybe it kind of doesn't translate. But, I invite people to buy Found Fools to see whether Sir George was right. That just shows how long this campaign has been raging.
Did you interview Mike McCartney for this?
You'll have to ask me that again.
Did you get to speak to Mike McCartney for this?
Oh, did I not? No, I'm afraid I didn't speak to Paul or Ringo.
But did you speak to... What is wrong with...
I don't think he can hear us very well.
I don't think you can hear us very well. Did you speak to Mike McCartney,
No.
Paul's brother?
Oh, because he's daft.
Because bloody hell, you try and have an interview with him. We've had him on the show a couple of
Should I
times.
try it on my phone?
Do it. Email me your phone number. I'm going to call you. Good.
I could try it on my phone instead of doing
All
this
right.
way.
On the Zoom meeting. Do it.
You
Right,
can't
we're going
hear.
to end this. Right, hang on a second. We're going to make this
I
work.
thought it was getting a little bit stilted.
Stay there, because I want to get something I want to show to them as well. Don't worry, we'll get there. You talk to them for a second, Catherine.
Yeah, so if you're new to this, we've had Mike McCartney on a few times, and he is hilarious. Paul McCartney's younger brother. He's hilarious, but he's got this kind of
Just so big one.
this sense of humour that means that you start off in one place and it bounces all over the shop, and you have to really sort of keep up with him.
Now, I might have lost that meeting.
Let's see.
This is the joy of this, though, is that we can... I just saw Big Boy sat on the sofa, sat on his place in the sofa.
Casual as you like.
I wonder if I go... Right, let's just do a little bit of business. So first of all, we can get rid of that. We're going to do that, and we're going to do that. Right, so that is good. Now we're going to go to the link that I sent him, and I wonder if I can open that meeting from there. Open that. Leave and join.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. So we're going to do a new meeting. We're going to do participants. We're going to do an invitation. We're going to copy the invite link, and we're going to go there. Jem, if you are watching, I am sending you, try this new link. I'm sending you this new link. I think it's this. Oh, no, it's a different link. So let's see if he gets that. Yeah, I just saw Big Boy.
Big Boy, by the way, is a stray cat. Well, not so stray anymore.
Not so straight. I haven't got the camera set up. But he was sat on his place when we're not in there is sat on the sofa, and he's getting slower at running off. I went because he could have heard me coming and he could have disappeared, but I saw him jump off the sofa. By the way, I saw little holes in the in my curtain right up to the top where someone has climbed up. I'm not sure if it's... Oh, God. Hello, Lux. This is Lucky. Hello, darling girl.
There is a cat attached to this.
Hello, darling girl. How are you, my baby? How are you?
I'll tell you how she is. A little bit wet and muddy.
And there are black smudges up on the wall where Big Boy he jumps up.
Hello,
he
girl.
jumps high. Hello, darling. I wonder if that camera is set up, actually. I wonder if that's the third camera... Oh, there we go.
There's my boots.
There we go.
Big Boy, which sofa is he under?
He's gone under that one now,
Right.
the far one. He was sat on that chair on the right.
Because when I went in to get my computer, I heard a scuffling under the boot side.
And I didn't put his breakfast down until about 12 o'clock today, 12:30, because I wanted him to be hungry, and I wanted to be in there when the food was put down. And then I had to go out for a quick wee, and by the time I came back, he'd gone and he'd eaten all of the food.
Ah,
There we go. He's connecting to the audio. Come on.
Mr. Roberts, we've been expecting you.
This is over £300 worth of brand new microphone equipment and everything.
When you listen back to it, you will hope that you've kept your receipt because it sounded it sounded shit. While you went, I went to get this little bit of treasure. Don't know if you can make out that.
Is it that's from Neil?
Neil, Double Back Alley.
Oh yes, no, actually I saw that. I think that's on your on
Double
Twitter.
Back Alley, because Neil Innes. I wept when he passed. He features heavily in the book because of the Ruttles, and people go, "Oh, the Ruttles weren't the Beatles," but they kind of were, and George was heavily involved. What was I interviewed him once ages ago, and then tried to get another interview with him, but as I'm sure you may or may not agree, he's really shit at replying to emails, and I would get a date booked in with his wife, and then I'd get an email the day before saying, "I'm really sorry, Neil's busy," and I forgot, and it just...
And she'd say, "Give us a shout in a couple of weeks' time," and then you'd forget to do that, and then she'd forget to get back.
The three of us were terrible at getting this thing going, and then of course he passed away, and it was awful. But it's so lovely to see him pop up in the book so much, and there's a huge section about the Ruttles.
Well, there had to be. I mean, that's the whole kind of flip side of the story. That's where the two join, is the Ruttle story, and that was the other reason why this had to be done, because nobody's ever told that story before, ever, in print. And you get lip service to these things in the existing book. So, maybe a mention of the Goons or mention of Monty Python, and then it all came together in the Ruttles. But it's my job, really, to look for the stories that have never been told. And it was the first time, that anyone could get their teeth into the whole Ruttle story. And as you know, Neil wasn't the most egotistical person in the world, quite the opposite. But he was aware, he was a big enough Beatles fan that he knew that he would be a key star of the story that I was telling, and he was still backing me up on that rather than backing away. He was backing me up with the whole idea.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil any of the stories of the book, so I won't. But it was the first time I'd read an explanation as to why him and Eric Idle fell out.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was all the meat of that really comes from an American news story, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
Because I mean, Neil will talk about these things off the record, and I did everything I could to get Eric's side of the story in this. I really have to stress. Several people interceded with Eric for me.
Did you say that Graham Garden got involved at one point, asking him to do it?
Wow. Was his flatmate in the early 60s, and obviously my first book was the official "I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue" story.
Right.
So Graham Garden and Barry Cryer, the two of them, kind of kick-started my entire career. And so I had the gall eventually, just because, as you can tell, having read the book, it's very sensitive, and I very much wanted to have Eric's side of the story. But all I got back eventually from Graham Garden was, "I tried, Jem, but," he said, "tell him not to wait up."
Oh man,
that is Eric Idle. That is, that's why we love him. Really,
he was my favourite Python when I was growing up, but I couldn't sit through the Ruttles too. 10 minutes into it, I went, "Nah, I'm not watching this shit."
Well, again, I couldn't be. It's got David Bowie. David Bowie is the reason. If you want one reason to watch Ruttles 2, David Bowie is the absolute comedy star of that.
Okay.
He was kind of possessed by Peter Cook, I think, at the time that he was doing it. It was a very Sir Arthur Street Breebling kind of David Bowie interview. So it's worth watching for that. But again, I certainly don't want to be too.
You tread as delicately as you need to. What was I going to ask? How does this? Oh, Kevin Eldon. Kevin Eldon, and I, of course, I'm a huge Kevin Eldon fan. I once got to appear. Did I tell you this? In a performance art piece with Kevin Eldon that was a 3D movie about a sci-fi movie being rehearsed that was on a loop. So it just goes on for. It was me and Kevin Eldon, and anyway, it was the weirdest thing. This art installation. The same people, the same artists, Ian and Jane, that paid me to do.
The way you had to observe the crowd and think out loud about them.
So I met him once, and I was really trying not to be a fanboy, but you know him obviously, and he kind of encouraged you to do this book, did he?
No, he didn't encourage me.
Oh.
But I just knew that he was as much of a geek as I was, really, when it came to the Beatles. And also I knew that we had, well, obviously he had a close friendship with Neil Innes. I'm not claiming, this is the thing about Neil. He had so many friends.
Yeah.
And he toured relentlessly, and in every single port, there were a dozen sofas available to him if he wanted it. He didn't need it, obviously. But he was one of these people, and I've been writing books about famous comedians now for 13, 14 years. And as you know, there are some wonderful folk out there, and there are some difficult folk out there.
Oh, yes.
But Neil was literally one of the nicest people who ever set foot in that business. And I'm sorry, I don't want to bring anyone down at this late hour on a Tuesday night, but in this short period, but I can honestly say, of all the people I've ever known, all the sort of celebrities you ever have to work with, send emails to, try and get, something out of, Neil Innes, Terry Jones, Tim Brooke-Taylor, all gone within a frigging season. They've all gone, at the start of last year. And I mean, in different ways, obviously, but each of these people, they would go out of their way to be so lovely to you, and they're gone. But this was the thing with Neil. Obviously, I didn't sit around in his house in France as Kevin did. Kevin was in a band with him, for goodness sake.
I know.
So
incredible.
Kevin really got to experience jamming with Neil Innes beyond the odd bit of ukulele, which is all that I ever experienced.
Wow.
But when it was actually Neil was going to write an afterword was the original plan. That's what we sort of agreed last time that we'd spoken, and suddenly not having any of this stuff. I wanted to put the seal of approval in some way, and having been the most great comedic Sir George Martin ever on top of a lot of things, I really thought that Kevin was hopefully the person to go to. And the thing about Kevin, it's not that he's not friendly. He's very friendly, but he's also extremely privacy. He likes his own privacy. He's not as outgoing as Neil and maybe some other people are. So I was just very, very lucky that he agreed to write this whole forward. And he's gone beyond the Call of Duty. Actually, we did a podcast together, which is just today gone up live. Your Personal Beatles. And they asked Kevin to be on, and he was the one who actually said, "Oh, you should actually get this guy on instead," and got me involved. And so, as you know,
goes to phone to download. Here we go. What's it called? Your Personal Beatles.
Personal Beatles, yeah.
Your Personal Beatles, yeah.
Right, I'm downloading.
So I was really knocked out by that because I thought Kevin was being nice, and it turns out he's sort of more than nice. People only have to, You're being nice. People only have to be nice to a certain point. But then, there are people that go the extra mile, and Neil Innes went many, many extra miles.
I'm just getting your podcast. I tell you what. Here we go. Got it. I tell you what. I would love more than anything. I would love McCartney to go. That itch that I was trying to scratch with "Give My Regards to Broad Street" in '84. It's not gone away. I want to write and star in another movie. I would love that. Give My Regards to Broad Street 2. That would be awesome. I'm obsessed with Give My Regards to Broad Street. I remember you couldn't get it for ages, and I bought it on a really expensive VHS. That and Caveman. Caveman cost me £30. Imagine paying that much money for that terrible film. But I love Give My Regards to Broad Street. I love the pomposity, the arrogance, the wooden acting, the ridiculous storyline where actually the tapes weren't stolen, they were just locked in a public toilets, but actually the whole thing was a dream anyway.
Oh God!
And I love
within a dream.
And I love the fact that it was a flop, but it's also got No More Lonely Nights, isn't it? Is from
Oh yeah.
which is one of the greatest McCartney songs. You've seen the South Bank Show special about that, where it's him and George Martin in the studio, and Paul's going, well, we can just do this on the bass. Bow, 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 bow. And he's just doing that. I love it.
One of the nicest things I got from that, actually, and the thing in telling this story is this whole massive tapestry of bizarre coincidences and things that come back to full circle and everything. When Paul was getting an absolute kicking for that back in 1984, obviously being Paul, at the end of the whole process, he said, oh, no, I might do it again, it wouldn't be too bad. But what he said was, what I'd like is just to show up in a film as like an old guy in the corner just shouting stuff. And you're going to realise he literally just did that as Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, he did it.
And it's exactly what he asked for himself in 1984.
Brilliant.
Johnny Depp finally provided for him. So
the book is called Fab Fools. I think we've sold you a couple of copies tonight. We're going to put the link in there already. Yeah, honestly, listen, I've read it. This is why I got him on. I just wanted to read it, and this was kind of the deal. But I'm glad that we've met, Jen. I look forward to meeting you in the real world. It is a really, really good book. If you're a Beatles nut, there's a lot of stuff in here you won't read. If you're a Rattles nut, it's got the whole story. And if you're not, this would genuinely, this would make a great Christmas present for someone. That's the thing.
I was just thinking of my dad then.
It's a great Christmas present kind of thing. Give us one thing, Jem. I'm going to put you on the spot now. One kind of flavour of the Beatles comedy that perhaps we didn't know about. One thing that surprised you when you were going through all of this.
Well, there's a good one, actually, that went up just the other day on Twitter. If anyone wants to follow Fab Fools, we have Fab Fools Friday every week.
Okay.
And this is a permanent thing as well. I should say, the book, you can order the book online, and we're actually going into shops next April. If you go on Amazon, it will say April, but you can order the book now and have the book now, and it exists now.
Brilliant.
But because 5,000,000,006 books just went into the shops because of coronavirus, the publishers aren't actually putting it in shops until early next year. But the point is, Fab Fools on Facebook and on Twitter is something that I'm basically going to be running for the rest of my life, and I'm not really going to run out of material because there's so much in there. But Fab Fools Friday, and last week, it was the whole 1965 Christmas flexi discs outtake.
Oh!
And this is on YouTube. Most of this stuff is on YouTube these days. There's no, we don't go to bootleg drives anymore. We just click on YouTube and it's all there. But oh my goodness, if you're a fan of Chris Morris or Derek and Clive, stuff like that, and you want to hear the 4 biggest British rock stars of history, in their mid-20s, young lads, you know what the lads are like in their 20s, how dark and sick they can get. You would not believe some of this material, which if it was heard back in 1965, could have ended Beatlemania there and then. It's like, I'm thinking mainly about the advert for baby meat that they do. John and George especially talking about slaughtering the babies and how they cut them up for your, to put out on the table for busy mum's baby meat and stuff. And that was unexpected, compared to the Panto years.
The humour's still going on. Pete Best is very, very funny on Twitter. The Beatles Twitter feed, how did you get into the Beatles? And Pete Best replies, Paul phoned me up and asked if I wanted to join the Beatles, so I did. Pete has found a sense of humour. Jem, the book is an absolute joy, and it's so nice to meet you. I'm glad we sorted this out. We've been chatting for ages about coming on and us losing our job and coronavirus and him being a dick and getting the day wrong. All of these things have combined, but we finally met, and it's a really great read, Jem. And I wish you
thank you both.
Best of luck. What is next? What is next?
More Tales of Britain, but that's a whole other story. If you ever want to talk folk tales, I'll be
back
sometime.
Next book, man. Come on, seriously, we'd love to have you on, Jem.
Well, Tales of Britain, look it up. It's the first collection of British folk stories in over 40 years, believe it or not. You think There's loads, but they're not. There's all the different counties, all the different boroughs. This is the first one to bring all the stories together in one book in over 40 years. And that's an ongoing thing, which is the whole rest of my life. So I'd love to talk about that some other time as well.
Come on, man. You've got my email, and it's not a hollow invitation. You'd be very, very welcome.
That sounds brilliant.
Thank you so much, mate. Best of luck.
Thumbs aloft.
See you later. Ta-ra. Thumbs up. Wacky thumbs aloft.
See you la.
I realised I put the link for the book in there, but actually I just invited everybody into the meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's nice. It's a really good book. It's a really, really good book. And you will enjoy it. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we haven't. That's going to be a problem, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, then
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right, guys.
Now is your chance.
Now is your chance to phone up the show. And we go.
Yep.
Let's try this. What have we got here?
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm listening to your show real quick. Mute it. Yeah, I'm just trying to call in. I'm not sure if this is how it works, but
Yes.
Skyping in. I'm Kiski. Scribed in.
This is how it works.
No, I'm not talking about Lost. That's it. So, I really like Hurley and Ben owning the island, so I thought it'd be fun to, discuss, like, maybe, because obviously a lot of shows are coming back, like Cobra Kai and stuff like that. And Cobra Kai's great. You should watch Cobra Kai. Like, a lot of shows are coming back, so why not have, like, a Hurley Ben show? They're still alive, and Locke, maybe, now Locke should be involved. Let's not taint his memory. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be fun to talk about it. All right.
Santiago, would you mind if I gave you a call later in the week and recorded that for the Lost podcast? Would that be okay? You said your name was in the chat.
Yes, here.
Kickski. Would you mind if we recorded that maybe later in the week or at the weekend? If I send, I've got your Skype. Let me write down.
Yes.
And then could we record that, please? Please! Lost call. I've got really chapped lips. I've been kissing too many girls.
Wow.
That'd be wicked. Because I always thought that Desmond and Locke should have a spin-off show where they travel through time solving crimes. That's what I always thought should happen. Yes, you can have me on Skype. What have we got here? Oh my God, that's outrageous behaviour. Call. Thank you, Kiski. I love you too, man. I look forward to having a proper geek out chat with you. But let's do that away from this, and then we can play it out as part of. I'm just aware that I'm probably going to be doing the next watch maybe 11 o'clock on midday on Saturday, which is probably too early for you. But then I can play it out then, and then I can put it in the next podcast. Thank you. Man.
Very cool.
I need to get some more water.
Yeah.
Do you want another Coke?
Yeah, go on then. Yes, please. Topics. You sent some in. Yeah, you sent some in to Ian's Twitter feed earlier today. Maybe not you personally, but maybe you personally. So we're going to have a look at those in a second. She's still in there. She's got really muddy feet.
Yeah, okay. My cat's
She's going to stamp all over everything.
Oh, we've got
Yep. We have. God, I baked. Not right now, thank you. I baked today. I started to get sucked into the Rishi Sunak palaver, and then Boris Johnson said something stupid, and then I started mouthing off about it on Twitter, and then I realised that it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever, and I'm just winding myself up. So then I went and baked some pie.
Kiski says, anytime I'm bad with tech, but I'm here for you. I'm here for you, bro. We're going to get through this together.
New to this too. These topics will either be great or terrible. But the odds are that one of those is going to be true, yes.
All night, Dio Bogambi. Yes, you love me. That's great. If you love me, you'd spell my name right consistently. That's all I'm saying. Right, what we're going to do. Right, so the phone lines are open. Can you have a big boy update? Jesus, Gatford. What is Gatford's beef? Is that him there? No, that's Beanbag.
Yeah. No.
Gatford, what is your problem? I'm going to take his sword off him again. Can I take his sword off him?
No.
Also, why is he spelling big boy like that? That's twatish.
That's like.
He's not a gangster.
Who's got my joints, big boy? That's what that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give me back my joints.
Yeah. Is that a mini Pac-Man arcade machine in the corner?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. How do you get a sword? You pay us £1,000 and then we consider it.
Right, let's have a look at...
Oh, right, okay, yes. Here. No. Oh. close the eye close. What's going on?
A kerfuffle. Who's there? Who's there? I can hear someone having a scratch.
Right. So let's...
Oh, a badger.
Badger. Where is it? Where did I put it? The doors are open, so it'll be down here. So, hello, darling boy. Hello, Georgie Podgy. Hello, my darling. I love you, George. I love how Lake is coming. Just have a little look. What's going on?
What are you doing? Anything good? Oh, this again.
Is it, is there any food? Can I play?
Come here, George.
Can I play and is there food?
Come here, but please don't claw me.
I can't find the topics. Hang on.
Woo! There we go. You're a good boy.
Here we go. What do you want to talk about on tonight's show? Please reply. Okay. Please, we'll use that. Anyway, what do you want to talk about on tonight's show? Please reply to this post and use the hashtag TLNA. You didn't need to hashtag twice. And we will make it happen. Right. So, this is what we had. And we're taking phone calls on these. Why are you confused, Jack? Don't be confused.
Oh.
Sorry?
Oh, I just did that. Oh. Listen to
She's
this.
stroking a cat.
Listen to this. There is an actual cat down there. It's not just a biological discrepancy.
Spiderfish says, I can do this and only recently learned that lots of others cannot. Some people can voluntarily control the tensor tympani, a muscle within the ear. Contracting these muscles produces vibration and sound. The sound is usually described as a rumbling sound. Well, I could, if I tense my head, I can make it go.
Yeah, I can make a sort of roaring noise.
When I was a kid, 0203 286 6370. When I was a kid, I was convinced that people were walking up the stairs every night to murder me, because I would lay on my side, and I could hear footsteps. Dum, dum, dum. But of course, it was
blood
my pulse
pressure, yeah.
in my ear. I still get that when I use. The auditory stuff is the thing, and I can just hear people. I could hear you. I said I could hear you pulling up on the drive 600 times in an hour. I could hear you pulling up on the drive, hear the door shut. Couldn't always hear the door shut, and if I didn't, it was like, I don't think it's real. Then I could hear you walking up the gravel and opening the door handle.
Wow.
I could hear it.
Did you hear me trip over? Because that would be the telltale sign. There's a sort of dent in the gravel that I never...
Oh God!
What, did you fall in it?
No, but I know. Scott's not here, is he? I've got to phone Scott.
Fair call. Can we time him out, please?
What's he said?
Out of order.
What's he said?
Are you sure it wasn't a queef calf?
What's that?
Well, it's basically a noise that sometimes the female member might make by accident.
No,
but it's just a bit...
No, goodbye.
I mean, low.
Goodbye. Right, this is a bit late, but this has to be done. This is going to be worth it. Is Ian coked up? Can we ban Mission Herman, please?
I think people have forgotten that there's a no dickheads rule on this chat.
Right, Scott's... Okay. I know what that dip is.
What?
There's a dip in my drive.
There is. It's a calf trap.
Have a guess what's under there.
Oh, God, it's not a body, is it?
Why would I be phoning Scott up? Yeah. There's a well under there.
Shut up.
There's a well under there. There's a well.
So I've fallen down a well.
Yes, mate. There is a well. Hello, caller.
Listening to the stream.
Hello. Turn the stream off, please.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Okay, what can we do for you?
I was just giving you a wee call, just in relation to the last topics. I mean, it's just in relation to what you were talking about earlier.
Okay.
With the chat on stream.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen the thing that's on Netflix at the moment? It's called The Social Dilemma.
I started watching it and I kind of lost interest, but that's probably more to do with my levels of concentration at the moment.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people recommend it to me. I'm going to give it a go. I haven't seen it, but go on.
It's quite good. It starts off quite slow, but it's kind of worth sticking with, I would say. It's quite good. Just, I'm not on social media or anything like that, and I've never kind of really enjoyed social media. I had Twitter briefly, but that was basically just kind of following folk, and I used it more as a kind of news outlet. But it's just quite interesting, just the kind of stuff that goes on in the chat. It's all kind of just a bit transactional, and a lot of the messages don't really mean anything.
What do you mean by transactional? I don't know what that means.
It's people are just kind of saying stuff for the sake of it, and there's not really any kind of interaction as such. It's not a conversation.
Sometimes it's a kind of train of thought, isn't it, for some people? Just one after the other.
Yep. And the Twitter thing was a bit. The Twitch thing was a big thing for me as well. I've never really been on social media. I had Twitter briefly, but I used to listen to you guys on the radio, and I used to love kind of phone and radio and stuff like that. And Twitch, I'd heard about it, but I'd never really kind of, been drawn to it for any other reason. I like Lemmy as well, I like kind of Lemmy. I've seen him on the TV, and I had seen some of the stuff he'd done on Twitch, but I never kind of looked into it anymore. And then when I seen you guys were on it, after having listened to you for so long, I kind of moved over to Twitch. So I'm kind of still navigating my way around it, but it is quite good. I'm enjoying the show on it as well, and I kind of enjoy the kind of visual aspect of it and the kind of interaction.
Do you like? It's interesting. If I can ask, what's your name, by the way? Sorry, man. Baz. So you like? Because I'm. Me and Catherine are old, right? And I really miss doing radio, and I struggle with working out exactly what the visual element is and should be. And I think, is it enough that it's just us sat here with the occasional like YouTube video? Should we be doing more? Should we be having green screens and special effects? You're digging the visual side of it, are you?
Yeah, I'm enjoying just even seeing you guys and your facial expressions as you're speaking and maybe reacting to callers and things like that. I like that aspect of it, and I have also enjoyed the kind of changing room stuff that you've done from YouTube videos, and I would like to see a wee bit more of that. Maybe not necessarily all changing rooms, but maybe kind of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I have enjoyed that aspect, and it's added a whole new dimension to it for me as well. And like I say, Twitch it was always something I was a bit wary of. I didn't really know anything about it, but I've started to enjoy it, and I've started to find kind of other people on it as well.
There's some interesting stuff on there. There's some interesting people doing weird stuff that you would never. Years ago, I don't know if you're aware of Frank Sidebottom, but I was friends with him, Chris Seavey, the guy that played him, and I remember maybe 10 or 12 years ago, he said to me, one day everyone's going to have their own TV channel. And that is now, if it's not a reality, it's possible that it can be with Twitch and with Periscope and with YouTube, that everyone can have their own outlet to do pretty much whatever they want. And that means there's some really freaky stuff going on out there, which is creative and is funny and is wonderful or is moving or is whatever it is you're looking for. But would never even get on, one of the 200 satellite channels. Even you'd be lucky if you found it in a variety club. Everything is out there.
Like those 4 people we found who played Dungeons and Dragons together.
Oh yeah, that was wicked. Yeah.
There are people doing really cool things and things that I didn't realise were interesting. That what's happened is that now, because we can pick and choose what we watch or listen to at all times, and we can schedule it in according to when it's convenient to us, we don't happen across things by accident the way we used to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. And as in kind of phone and radio kind of thing, I used to listen to it when I was younger. And there wasn't really anyone else doing it in the same way that I used to listen to it. We had someone up here, it was called Wee Fat Bob at the time on radio, and we had Scotty McClue.
Scotty McClue, of course, I've heard of, yeah.
So they were two of the kind of bigger. I think Scotty McClue was kind of a bit before Bob. That's what he used to call himself, Wee Fat Bob. But he was a bit before him, and I used to listen to him kind of growing up. And then there was no one else that kind of took over from them. And then I had no news from your TV stuff, and I realised that you were on. I'd heard about the Three Counties thing, and then I'd heard that you'd gone on to Talk Radio, and I started to listen to you guys. And then when you left there was obviously nothing else, and that's what made me come over to Twitch.
Well, I'm glad you found us, Baz. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, but it's just kind of I'm just very wary of the whole impact that social media and everything has. So it was a kind of big thing for me to come onto this, because I like I said, I don't really like social media, but I also, on this kind of flip side of that, I feel as if I miss out on a lot as well.
But that, of course, having watched I've watched part of that thing, watched almost all of it, is part of the deal with it, right? They've designed it to be addictive. They designed you to feel incomplete if you do not follow certain steps. Do you know what I mean? So that's why at the beginning of the show, some of the reactions we got I found really interesting, because it was almost as if we were hurting people's feelings, directly hurting people's feelings in some cases. Like we were insulting them.
Yeah, that is another thing with the Twitch medium as well. I heard Lemmy talking about this the other day. Is I think it's got potential really for people almost who are maybe predisposed to this sort of thing to become fixated, because it is so, there is so much opportunity for interaction, and it is face to face.
When you say fixated, do you mean the viewers becoming fixated?
Yes.
Yeah, we've had it.
Yep.
We've had it really early on. We found a handful of people, mainly men, but not exclusively, who felt they knew Catherine and I much better than they did. And we had one guy phoning up saying, I just want to be your friend, but we're going to be friends. We're going to be friends. Now, that's not unusual being on TV or radio, but normally it takes a lot longer for that to develop.
Yeah.
And this was like after 3 weeks, we had these people that were like, I know you and I'm part of the show.
Another curious thing is people who, it happens now and again, and it happened occasionally on radio as well, but we noticed it a heck of a lot more pretty early on with this. Certain people who thought that we were signalling exclusively to them. God, yeah. I know you're talking to me. I know you're trying to get me to ring up. I know you're hinting at something that I did.
Yeah.
Almost like a psychic link up. And I think it's because this is like we're so much more accessible on here. And what?
Cats are eating pizza. Sorry.
Again, George nicked my pizza last time.
Bugger off, mate.
But yeah, I'm not criticising those people. I just find it really interesting how those boundaries that were always kind of we always had to guard very carefully. They seem even flimsier.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And people can kind of almost get an instant reaction from you guys.
Yeah, and when they don't get recognition, they get very upset. Some people as well.
Yeah. It's interesting. I do find it interesting, but it does make me worry sometimes a bit about streamers, and not particularly you guys, because I know you guys are kind of experienced in the media and so many years behind you and this sort of stuff. But you have also kind of really young people who are streaming and maybe just started and maybe haven't had experience in jobs even, and they're having to deal with maybe this. And I've seen some streamers who maybe haven't been in it for very long, who have a massive following, and thousands of people watching them, and it does kind of make you worried. Do they have support, and just because it's new to everyone, I suppose, this in particular.
Yeah, there are a few people we've raided who have been talking, and maybe it's because they have a kind of a smaller fan base, but a very, very loyal fan base. I've heard them talking and using, saying, they're my friends now. And I just, when I heard that, I just thought, I don't, I would feel uncomfortable with that. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're old-fashioned. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe we're not getting it.
Maybe that's how I feel sometimes about this. Is that I'm the kind of odd one out because I'm not involved in social media, and you come into work sometimes and people are talking about something that's happened on Facebook, or they're talking about conversations they've had online, and it's kind of like I'm 5 steps behind sometimes, and then other times I feel as if you know, you don't really have much to talk about it because you're not involved in this.
But that's okay. This is it. But sometimes back in the old days, we didn't have stuff to talk about, and so we'd make up rude jokes, or we wouldn't talk. And that's okay. You're missing out on nothing by not being on social media. I wouldn't classify Twitch as social media. It has elements of it, but I wouldn't classify it in the same way I wouldn't classify YouTube or Netflix as social media. In the same way that Twitter and Facebook and IG as I call it, and TikTok, TikTok.
But I don't think it's a weird thing. I think that actually it's quite important to remember that, for example, Twitter isn't real life. And I see my kids already getting quite drawn into, they play Roblox and there's a chat element to that. And, my youngest has had little sort of dramas going on Roblox. And you just think, gosh, they're sucking them in so early. And they're going in a lot less guarded than we are because we were just sort of finding our way. They just assume that it's safe because everyone's doing it.
My 8-year-old was playing Among Us today, and someone said, and it's a funny line, but it's not funny when you say it to an 8-year-old. He said, let's say my kid's called Steve. Hurry up and vote Steve, otherwise you're going to have a toaster-flavoured bath, right? But you're saying it to an 8-year-old, and it suddenly struck me, oh, Jesus, there are, And I said to him, are you okay? Do you want to talk about that? He said, no, I found it funny. I said, okay, but just to let you know that you don't have. I didn't really know what to say, and I said,
it's kind of an old-fashioned reference, which suggests that's from an older person.
Yeah, you'll have a toaster-flavoured bath. Yes, Jesus, come on, man. It's a weird.
That is one thing. When I was growing up, I always had played games. I always was a gamer. Mega Drive, PlayStation, etc. And I feel as if that really benefited me growing up, and it was good. I wasn't playing it like all day or anything like that, but it benefited me. Like, I think it's good for your kind of thinking and maybe your reactions and different things. But this, and I've only got a toddler at the moment, but it's one of the things I've kind of thought about when he becomes of an age where he wants to game and things like that, and it's the social aspect of it worries me. Not the gaming aspect. I'm quite happy for him to sit and play a game, play career mode or just through the story of the game. But it's the social thing worries me. That kind of, you hear horror stories about it, and I know it's good for some people, and I've heard like some people saying their kids have really benefited from Call of Duty or whatever they're playing. But that's the one, and overall I would say that gaming, as a benefit, I think it really is beneficial, but the social element of it worries me.
Baz, nice to talk to you, man. Thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers.
Take care. Stay safe.
Thanks,
Thank
Baz.
you. The Duck Pond Sailors, come on, don't sweat the small stuff. I don't know what that means. That came up just after I talked about the toaster thing, and I wondered what part of that was small stuff. I don't understand your comment, and this is another thing why comments are rubbish.
The small stuff we're worried about is our small children.
Well, yeah, but I just would like clarification, Duck Pond, on what you mean on, oh, come on, don't sweat the small stuff. I would love a little bit of clarification on that. While we're waiting for his clarification, let's go to Somers. No, not those guys! But these guys, get out of here, you losers! Goddamn pieces of trash. They'll be back at some point, so we'll.
Of course they will.
Poseidon Safety Management. There is use the dog off to an adult dog party. Talk to me about them, Catherine, please.
Poseidon Safety Management. They are serving Devon and Cornwall with manned guarding, guard dogs, and mobile patrols.
Manned guarding.
They have got the biggest team of guard dogs in those two counties, and they also recruit from the areas that they serve. So people know all the various quirks, shortcuts, characters from the area, and they also
Steve.
they also have a vested interest in keeping the area safe. So that's what happens with Poseidon Safety Management. They've also got, as I say, a community conscience. Community conscience and a sense of humour. And they're not just kind of thugs in bomber jackets who turn up, throw their weight around and leave. They are people who have personalities. They'll have a chat with you, and they'll get to know your area and what you need specifically for protecting your protecting your property. Oh, and they've got this thing called Radar Vision, right? Shut up. They've got this thing called radar vision, which is like CCTV, but not, right? Because you can stick it wherever. It's battery operated, so you don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need any power or anything like that. You can stick it in your field, is what I'm saying to you. So have a chat with them. They're really friendly, and if they can't help you, they'll know someone who can.
James says, Ian, apologies. Any plans for any more live rabbit holes? I'm never doing a live show ever again.
There won't be any venues left anyway, will there?
But even if there were, I ain't doing it.
No, we're done.
I'm done with that. I'm done with the stress, man. Gregorian Emerson family last listeners. This is what we need to do, right? You and I need to get married so that we can really, because we've done the 34 SP competition. We entered that. I've signed up for Viz, but I did it before we got the code.
Gafford, I'm taking that sword off you.
Actually, we need to promote that guy. So we need to show that gelaw.co.uk really can take the div out of divorce.
God.
So Catherine and I, first of all, Catherine.
No.
No,
I'm already married. Get off your knees, boy. What are you doing? No!
Catherine.
What are you doing?
I'm proposing to you.
With your thumbs.
I haven't got a ring.
Well.
There we go.
That's going to cut my face now. Now you've left a jagged end. Oh my God.
Shut up. Ow!
All right, let's not.
Shut up. We're going to do this and we're going to do this properly. Wish me luck.
I don't like being pressured.
Shut your face.
I don't like
Just do as you're told.
No.
Kathy.
What? Who?
Kathy.
Who?
It would make me so honoured.
You're digging your elbows in me.
Kathy.
I bruised like a peach.
Careful, you're going to spill it. Kathy.
No.
Will you please marry me?
No.
Just fucking marry me. So that we can get divorced. I don't want to marry you stink of cheese, but I want to get married so that we can get divorced.
No,
Richard.
it's tricky. Let's just cut out the middleman and stay not married.
We won't meet up in the afternoons.
What for?
Making love.
Ah, my God!
I will. I will allow you to stay out of the house in the afternoon. So
can I stay out of the house permanently?
Yes, your body will not be defiled.
When you say marry, what do you mean?
I mean, get married, you twats.
Like legally and everything?
Yes, so that then we can get a legal divorce.
Nah.
This is what true love looks like, and she just doesn't know it yet. You'll be my wife one day, and then you'll be eating my hat.
Then everyone will be sorry.
I'll be placing my hat on my penis.
Small hat.
Richard Gregorian there, ladies and gentlemen.
Gosh.
Liz! Ah! Get 3 issues
left
for
me
£1.
with a potential death trap there, look.
Cat's rim has been torn to shreds.
It has.
But I still wanted to marry her. Liz! Ah!
You can see past my torn rim.
Let's go and have a look at the Viz. We're going to, each day this week, we're going to look at a different company's website, okay? What is that? Oh, that's, you can't see that. Oh, no, you can't see that. Shh.
What's that?
Oh,
yeah, bad thing.
It's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Maybe did a bad thing.
So we're going to go to subscribe.
.viz.co.uk/
TLNA. Let's go and have a look at what they have knocked up. Screen lover. There we go, look. Free UK worldwide delivery, best price to get. Late night alternative special. 3 issues of Viz for £1. They've done this for us. Listeners of the late night alternative. That's you. We need to do a new thing for the poddies.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we might be playing some Oculus Quest 2 on the stream at some point soon.
Okay. I don't really like being blindfolded around you.
But it's not blindfold, it's virtual reality.
I know, but I'll have my head, have my body vulnerable and my head covered.
Your body doesn't interest me.
Only my mind.
Your mind doesn't. None of you interests me.
Good, okay. But
I think I speak for a lot of us when I say that.
But I am afeard of being...
Listeners of the Late Night Alternative with Ian Lee can enjoy 3 months of Viz, Britain's third, possibly fourth funniest magazine for just a quid. Your Viz subscription starts with your first 3 issues for £1. That's a saving of over £10.
Good, they do the maths for you.
If you're not 100% satisfied, you can cancel within your 3 issues and you won't pay more than the £1. If you do decide to continue, you'll get a Viz magazine delivered to your door with free delivery with a continued saving of 23% on the shop price. You've got nothing to lose.
No.
Right?
And a lot of giggles to gain.
And if you do it now, you'll get the 300th issue that we're going to be in. We're going to be in Viz. We're sponsoring the letters page of the 300th issue. So it's going to be awesome. There's me.
Yeah.
There's Kath and her sister.
Rude.
There's me.
Yeah,
and
there's you.
Kath and her sister.
There's you again, farting. There's you. And there's you. What's that? It's got...
I said the sexist.
Right.
It's not as good as it used to be. I can
No.
say that now.
Victorian dad.
Now, Dennis
that
Publishing.
was my dad.
Dennis Publishing is Felix Dennis, who was the guy behind Oz. And then I learned something else about it, but I can't remember what it was. So there's that. So that's the website.
Consider yourselves told.
Today. 34SP, we'll have a little look at their website tomorrow, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do that. We'll have a little look at their website tomorrow. Ethical web hosting. I'll tell you what we'll do. We will scroll tomorrow. We'll take a scroll through the long list of charity websites. If you're a registered UK charity, there is a strong chance they will host you for free. There's a couple of little steps you have to complete and prove that you're registered and stuff. But about 10% of 34sp.com's hosting is given over to charity, which they do for free. Which is nuts, really, when you think about it.
But they do things that they don't need to, and that's the point. You've got to understand that. They're just nice.
I'm suspicious.
They're not interested in the ethics anyway. If you want to set up your own website and you want to do it cheap,
so suspicious of them.
34sp.com will give you 3 months free.
Can someone do it and then let us know what the con is?
TLNA is the code.
Someone do it. Just let us know what's going on behind that green door. They're making a lot of noise, but they won't let me in. So please sign up to 34sp.com using the code
TLNA
and let us know what is going on.
Do it.
I'm
Do it.
very, very suspicious of this company.
You should do it.
They sound too good to be true, Catherine.
They're excellent.
Did we ever find out what that guy meant by "don't sweat the small stuff"? This is another thing.
I think it was just a grenade.
Was it? Who was it? Who said it? This is the problem with the chat. I'm now like, what?
It's never worth pursuing either, ever. You just lose 10 minutes wondering.
Oh, the duck pond sellers. No, he did type something else in, and it will be a he. Mark my words. I try not to worry too much about online comments involving my young sons. I think it's a bear pit. They're gonna have to learn to handle it. Shit. Wow. With respect, that is a terrible attitude. With respect, that is a really dangerous, terrible attitude. That's akin to man up. A man up. It's just words. That's an awful attitude. And also, why should they have to learn to handle it? Why can't we start trying to make online better?
Also, how much of the rest of your parental responsibilities you're going to hand over to a load of strangers who don't care about your kids?
No. God, that's an awful... That's a terrible attitude. That's worse than I imagined it was going to be when you sent that comment.
You don't really mean that, surely.
You don't mean that. You're just saying that to be controversial. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. I don't believe you mean that. No parent could be so laissez-faire. You're not a dad. You're not a dad. No. You're not a dad. Paul, going to come to you in a bit. There's a couple of people that we missed.
Hey,
Lee! Hoo! Ha!
It's me.
I want to know if you'll touch my bum.
Nah.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair. I had to ask.
He thought about it, though.
I hope you understand. I had to ask.
It's fine.
What can you do for you, Lisan?
Okay. Well, about an hour ago, you said you wanted ideas. I don't. I know you.
No, we didn't.
Well, you said suggest. I don't know. Whatever.
No, we didn't.
We said something and then you rang us.
We said we got plenty of ideas tonight.
No.
and
I
yet
heard.
you
No.
fucking-
I heard that. Anyway, forget it. I'll tell you what I'll do.
You take the abuse very well. You're like this. You
Bear pit, you see.
Is that your dad? You just learnt to live with it.
I mean, you just make me laugh more than anything. I don't find you threatening. I'm sorry if that, emasculates you.
I will beat the crap out of this guy, Catherine.
You won't.
I'm gonna. You need to keep him on for 3 minutes, and then I will be able to triangulate his position, and then I will go over after the show and kick his ass.
You're more likable the more angry you get. Anyway.
Shut up! I'm more likable the more angry I get.
Right,
They're adorable.
Okay, get off! Let me rephrase this, right? It's not a suggestion for the show. Can you help me out with a quick joke surgery?
Without a hesitation
Do
of
it.
a moment's doubt.
Begin.
Right,
The doc is in.
A couple of jokes that I don't think I invented them. I think I just heard
By the
them.
way,
they're really good. Go on.
Can I just say, I was woken up the other day. My kids were here, and they got up Sunday, and I stay in bed a bit, and I heard them reading the Matt Lucas joke book, and I heard them going, oh. And then the third one, I heard them in hysterics, and I heard the third one, and it's a great.
Was it a bum joke?
No, it's great. What do you call a magic dog?
Huh? Go on.
Labracadabra. And it's a great joke. And then they were pissing themselves, and I was in bed chuckling. I thought, I'm getting up. I'm having some of this fun. I'm getting up and having some of this fun.
I've remembered what you said now. It was topics. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Joke surgery.
We said that we'd asked for topics on Twitter,
All right,
and we had got loads. And because of callers like you, Lee, we can't go through the list.
I don't use Twitter very often. Sorry. All right, joke surgery. There's two jokes that I really like, and there's one joke that I think I need help with. Right, is this joke good? I've invented a mind-controlled air freshener. I know it sounds crazy, but it makes sense when you think about it.
Ah.
Sense as in scent.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Doesn't
laughter.
it doesn't make laughs when you think about it.
Sense.
No. Okay, no laughter. Good. I think this one only works when it's written, but my wife. I've been organising reorganising the spice tray. My wife's not looking. She hasn't noticed yet, but I know that my time is coming.
Oh.
I think it has to be written. All right, nothing there really. Just a bit of a groan from Catherine. All right, the last one. I think there's a potential here. I haven't worked it out yet, but there's this idea. So Arnold Schwarzenegger.
By the way, it's very brave to phone up and tell jokes to people who are allergic to jokes. This is great.
I just really like those two. Anyway, this one might have some potential. I just need help working it out. Right. So Arnold Schwarzenegger gets offered a role as a composer in a film with various famous composers who lived in the same era. See, there's too many details to be a joke. Anyway, right. The director gives him the choice of which composer he wants to play, and the punchline is,
I get it. I'll be back. Yeah.
That's the punchline.
That's good.
Yeah, well, how does the joke get there, though?
Well, okay. You can say director.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in a fancy dress shop. I'm afraid we've only got famous composers' costumes. See anything you like?
Yeah.
Why would he be in fancy dress? Arnold Schwarzenegger
It's got to be someone.
He used to be a professional actor. He's not an actor anymore, so we're struggling. But it would have to be in a movie. Why? Arnold Schwarzenegger is offered the part. Arnold Schwarzenegger is offered is given the chance to play any musician in history.
Yeah, that could do it.
He says, "I'll be back." There you go. That's better than the fancy dress shop.
Okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in such demand now that he can work or not work. There's only one role he really wants, and I don't know.
Arnold Schwarzenegger got his cleaner pregnant and paid her $1 million not to tell anyone. Then when the boy turned 18, he said, "I'll be back."
Yeah. All right, I don't like that joke anymore so much.
Oh.
That's what she said.
Oh, God. Listen, about Twitch chat, I really enjoyed it earlier on. I mean, I disappeared for an hour because I played a scary ghost game in virtual reality with my friend, but you don't need to know that. I like what we did earlier when we turned the chat off. I've been watching Twitch for ages, and I always, first thing I do is I close the chat. Because if I'm being entertained by someone either being funny or being good at a video game or doing something creative, I just want to watch them. Like here, I leave your chat on because actually your chat, I know it annoys you, both of you, but yours is like the best chat on Twitch. It's a reasonable adult environment a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's just full of degenerates just going hee kappa. It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
It's like.
Is this guy bothering you, Kath? Should I?
No, I like him.
Should I cut him off?
No, I like him.
I will cut him off anytime.
Why are you being like this?
If he's bothering you, I will cut him off.
I like him.
I think he's bothering you.
No.
And you're embarrassed to admit it.
No, honestly, I'm fine.
I'll be back. It's gone.
They don't know. The chat doesn't annoy me. Some elements of the way people treat the chat can be a distraction. But it doesn't bother me, and I'm not upset about it. I just wonder how helpful it is and how much it puts other people off joining the chat. You know. I'm just asking questions, man. I'm just asking questions.
I'm going to call this person who's changed their name once, right?
Oh.
And I just don't feel... And they've already changed their name. And if they don't answer, they're out.
Also, they contacted you in the afternoon asking when we were on again.
I mean, their logo is XTC, but... This ain't going to last long. Yes?
Oh.
Limmy's better.
Oh,
Get
it's
the
a
box
shame
out of the
that
way.
you put the box in the way.
Get
my
the box
sweetie.
out of the way, and Limmy's better. No?
Oh.
The box was in the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait
Gosh.
again. They've gone.
You've been...
That was it?
God. Thursday, Friday, and then today.
And
that was it.
They can do better than that. He bottled it. Oh, he bottled it. Come on, man. Don't bottle it. Oh, he bottled it. One more.
I think he might have shot his bolt. And it missed.
Ian, fancy helping me quit alcohol for good? No, I can't. It's up to you. Only you can do that.
AA.
Oh,
Honestly.
man, that's a shame that you bottled it.
3 days. That's the product of 3 days' work.
That's a shame that you bottled it, man. You bottled it, man. Hey, man, you bottled it. Hey, you bottled it. Huh? You bottled it. What is this? You bottled it? Right, hang on a second. Do I like Dr. John? What I've heard of Dr. John, I like. Yeah, you know Dr. John?
No.
Is that kind of...
Sounds bloody awful.
Oh, no. All right, let's just play a little... What was Dr. John's hit? There was a Dr. John...
Sounds like a whoopee cushion.
Come on now. I don't think you're being fair. Why is this here? All right, we'll do it here. YouTube.
Anyway, they weren't interested in whether I liked Dr. John. They were asking you.
Because my taste in music is great. Here we go. This is Dr. John. Here we go. This is Dr. John.
Trading is not for everyone, but if you are a trader, Plus 500 is the place for you. With just a few clicks, you can open an unlimited...
There we go.
Welcome to this video. Bit of a global update first of all from the World Health Organization.
Oh, he's not playing the piano or anything. Oh, that's the different Dr. John. Dr. John Singer. No. You're going the wrong way. You're going the right way.
Mm.
There we go. Dr. John. Oh, we go. Dr. John. Dr. John.
Dr. John, Mac Rebenak.
I'm Dr. John. There we go.
Oh, I've seen him before.
Swampy.
Thankfulness to the band and all the fellas. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Sorry?
Valentine.
Still haven't heard him.
Yeah, this is. Valentine.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Okay, well that's why you're not in the shot. Oh baby, what you doing to me? Cha 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 ooh cha 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 cha. Not sure how. All right, let's give this dude a call.
Yes.
Quick, I can kiss myself.
Oh my god.
Jesus, Paul.
Then Paul goes and spoils it.
Paul has bottled it. Everybody bottles it.
Our connection is too weak.
No,
Au contraire, we love him. Oh, unless he's somewhere exotic.
It's Paul's connection is weak. This guy's not got it. This guy's not got it. This
No.
guy's got it. Oh, I've got to answer it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've answered it. What's going on?
It's us.
No.
Yeah. We're an anomaly.
No, we're not. It's good.
Yeah,
We've got good
totally are.
internet. We could do the topics in a minute. Well, we might as well do the topics tomorrow now, because I don't want to do topics.
I mean, some of them are weak anyway.
Well, what TV shows do you remember? Right, let's try this guy. Now it's saying it's right. What we're going to do is we're going to close Skype down, and then we're going to go here and we're going to open Skype.
Turn it off and turn it on again. Yeah.
When is Alan Bezic back?
I think it's a couple of days, didn't that fella say yesterday?
But he was supposed to be away for a week, and that was 2.5 weeks ago. The way to... Jesus, Edward, are you insane? The way to quit booze is to drink low alcohol drinks. The human mind is satisfied with a small amount of alcohol. Craig, ignore that. That is the worst advice I've ever heard in my life. That is terrible advice. It's just nonsense. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. Do you know that song? We don't take our trips on LSD. We don't burn out draft cards down on Main Street. 'Cause we like the living right of being free.
Okay. No, I don't know it.
And I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee.
Oh, yep, I know that. Come on, Tony. Best way to quit crack is just smoke a little bit here and there.
The place where even squares can have a ball. The place where even squares can have a ball.
Oh,
That's
dum dee dum dee dum dee doo.
I know it, I've remembered it. The place where even squares can have a ball. We salute the flag down at the courthouse. And white lightning still the biggest thrill of all. In Muskogee, Oklahoma, USA. Doobie da
To the end.
It's a good song, that. Beach Boys did a great version of that. Well, I'm proud of all their silly harmonies. And Beach Boys! All their bloody stupid singing like girls.
Edward, sit down. You're embarrassing yourself.
Crack is really bad and people need more. Booze isn't like that. Edward, you're talking bollocks, mate. You're talking bollocks. You're talking bollocks. I don't think you've even ever had a drink. You're talking bollocks, Edward. Honestly, it works. No, it doesn't. Thank you, Edward. Good night. God bless.
It's kind of irresponsible to peddle something
It
that
doesn't
is not
work.
true.
Doesn't work. So thanks, but no thanks.
And people die of alcohol addiction. So
It's funny though. Drugs are funny. Right, what's going on with Skype? White lightning, still the biggest thrill of all. Skype has crashed.
There's something going on.
Someone has messaged saying, "Please no more singing." You can go.
Please no more messaging.
Just putting a top on.
Okay.
Right, why won't this
We
work?
don't need the updates.
All right, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Yodamai, thank you for the sub. Here's what's going on with our... This is... No, it's not the internet, because we'd be dropping frames here if the internet was playing up. There's no Skype bings and bongs.
It's highly irregular.
Can we help Leanne sub, guys? Well, what is going on with Skype? Well, okay. Here's what we're going to do. Thank you for the bits. Right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Just stop. Everyone stop calling for a second. Let me just make sure. Let's go back to basics. Let's make sure we can. Right. Okay. So that's connected. Skype is down. All right. Skype's not working. So we're going to do a little zooms. Zoom. Zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom. We'll be there very soon. New meaning. Give me the meaning of life, the meaning of love. Oh, the meaning to get up every day. You give me the things that I need, the things that I want. You let me know everything will be okay.
Oh.
And that is why I do love you. That is why I really care for you. And if I could, I'd buy you a rainbow. I'd steal the moon and make love to you.
There we go. There it is.
I'm thinking, I can see where this is going. There's got to be. I've involved buying things and stealing things, and I still want to shag you. Fictional song person. Right, we're going to do.
You didn't say that. It was something far more refined. Making love.
Okay. Well, Chris says, according to Microsoft Skype status, normal service. Well, there obviously isn't normal
According to what's
service.
happening here.
According to actual real life experience. Come and join us. There's a Zoom meeting.
Let's see what happens now.
Zoom. Just one look, and then my ass went boom. Fat Larry. Poor old Fat Larry. Come on, man. Fat Larry. That's not a name. That's not a name for a band. We're going to do this gently. Okay. So just if you're waiting, just wait. I'm going to do this gently.
Sit in the waiting room, get a magazine.
But only come in if
chill.
you've got something to say as well.
Don't just be coming as a spectator.
I don't want people just coming in as like the ladies, what the ladies say.
Yeah. Ah, Paul. Nice to see you.
Go on, you talk. I'm going to make us...
Why are you making us
I'm
anything?
trying to make us 3D. There we go. We're in 3D now.
Oh. Why did I call? I called. Yes.
Trying to make us in 3D. Hang on. I think I can make us more 3D. Hang on. There we go. It should be in 3D now. Let's do it a little bit more. There we go. There we go. That is perfect 3D. Hello. If I were a rich man.
No noses.
This is the welcome to our channel where we don't have any noses.
How do we smell? Terrible.
Well, no, we can still wash and use hygiene.
But we're just guessing.
We can still use hygiene, but no eyes. My eyes. If I were a rich man, all day long, I wouldn't have to work. This is it, the first Twitch stream in 3D.
Come on, join me.
Do 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 do.
Oh, it's like TikTok, isn't it? Then
it was like TikTok. Hello, Paul. You're only in 2D. We're in 3D.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Why did I call now? I can't remember.
I don't know, mate. We're busy inventing 3D Twitch.
I've remembered.
Twitch Cubes, I'm calling it. I'm calling it Twitch Cubes. And no one else can do it. And I did it before Limmy, so screw you.
Yes.
Hey, buddy.
What did I call?
I hope this isn't the night you come in with a really serious problem.
Please, Paul, get to the point.
It was to talk about the thing that you were talking about before your sponsor mentions just before 11 o'clock.
By the way, everybody in the waiting room, Katie, Chris, Alistair, Neil and Lisa, you better have something to say. Because if we come to you and you ain't got nothing to say, you're going to get short shrift from us tonight. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So you better have something to say. I'm not joking. We're in 3D. Oh my God. Why is that so funny? It's like sawing the lady in half. Look, here we go.
Oh, hang on. This is.
Oh, hang on. Don't move.
Go on, please. Have bigger.
If I get, all I got to do is get you the right size. Here we go. A bit bigger.
Oh, this is what a baby would look like.
What? There we go.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
You've got to talk to me, Katie. Shut up, Paul.
Hi, Paul. I'm Unu. What you want?
Oh my God. Oh, fantastic. Oh my God.
Why are you doing tongues? Hang on a minute. You can be me.
Oh, a beardy man.
Hang on. We need a little bit. You need. I forgot you're tiny. So I've got to go make it. Oh, hang on.
Smaller still.
A little bit, not too much smaller.
Yeah, that's it. Bit smaller. There.
Hello, my name from Manchester. I'm from Manchester and I'm mad for it. My name's Catherine Boyle. And I'm mad for it. I'm mad for it from Manchester. Have you got any ecstasy? Because I want to go and listen to Oasis. But before that, I'll go to Cotton Mill and have my arm chopped off by Spinning Jenny.
Wow.
Woo! Yeah, baby. That's the horniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You can't rotate, can you? So we can both be at the same time.
No, Catherine, I can't rotate.
Well, that's because you've got no skills.
What do you think? I'm a contortionist. Paul, how can we help you, mate?
Yeah, what you were saying about, we're talking about before the news, the show, and the way it's transposition to Twitch and the journey that's taking you all on. There's something I've been meaning to call up and talk about for a while. It's your eyes. On the radio, there's no such thing as eye contact. When you are looking right into the camera, you are peering into the souls of your entire audience.
Souls.
And it's intimate, it is powerful, and I know you're messing around with the...
No, I'm not messing around now.
But, serious.
I wonder if I can... Go on.
No, it has a profound effect on the human psyche. And because you're in your own home, you're in your audience's homes as well, and this combination, I'm sure on some very subliminal level, it bypasses a whole load of logic in the brain and makes people think you're their best friend.
Yeah, it's a good point, Paul.
That's true.
Oh, I look really handsome when it's my head in your mouth.
Oh, he's done the mirror thing.
There we go. That's it. Let's stay there. The one on the left is very handsome. I look like Pat Sharp after his haircut, but sort of with his haircut.
Stop that tongue thing.
That's really good. I like it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Paul, that was a great point. Thank you, man. Right, what was it? It's eyes. You can see our eyes.
We need to be on the same. I need to sit on a cushion.
No, we don't.
If
No.
I sit on a cushion, then we've got the same head height. Look.
All right, hang on. But it's because to do with talent as well, I think.
Oh, well, don't do yourself down.
See, it doesn't work because then you move over to me and then that moves that. There we go. That's it.
Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Manfred. I'm Catherine Boyle. I'm Manfred. Have you got any pills? I'm a lad. Here, my mum and dad had it off to. Here comes the sun.
Don't.
Here comes the sun.
I'm Ian Lee. I'm always going on about making love. Making love.
Sorry, Paul. You were saying, Paul.
Yeah.
Eye
Your
contact.
Eyes. It's the new dimension. It's your our ability to see you. You're not just voices in the ether anymore. We can see you, so we can see when you're, there's this direct link through the camera into the soul. And my friend Danton has just pointed out that it's also very obvious when you're, Ian in particular, your eyes are off to the right, as it appears to me, checking out the chat.
Well, this is it, and this exactly, and that's what I'm doing. But here's the thing: it isn't radio, right? And we know that, but we still don't quite know what the language or what the boundaries are within this format. So we're still playing. And whereas in radio, if people are phoning, I can mute my mic and I can be like fact checking. I can be checking Facebook. I can be doing anything.
Yep.
And still. And even to a really boring call, we would occasionally get, and I could still make it sound like I was interested because I could be looking at Facebook and going, okay, well that sounds really interesting, and here we don't have any downtime, or if we do, we have to make a thing about having downtime, and also I'm doing all the technical stuff, whereas before it would be shared kind of equally with me and Catherine, and Catherine does do some stuff on her computer, but I'm driving the show, and so I have to be looking down and to the right a little bit because I have to check the chat, I have to check the adverts, I have to press these buttons, I have to, all of this kind of stuff. And Kath does it to a certain extent as well, actually, but it's not as integral.
Most of my stuff is right in front of me.
Yeah, and it's not as integral to the show going ahead. And I'm aware, some people that will look like disinterest. Some people, it's different. Is the thing? It's not radio.
Yeah. But the power of the eyes, not to be underestimated.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Do you want to stay? Do you want to stay as we bring someone in who I don't think is going to last very long?
Go on then.
Let's have a little look. Let's just to be safe. Oh no, I don't think so. Are you going to show us your video, or are you not going to bother? Are you going to show us your video, or are you not going to bother?
Ooh.
Oh, look, it's a human being. Oh, look.
I see the Beatles and I see Beethoven.
I see the Beatles.
We're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right for a second.
We're going to be all right.
Turn off your Twitch stream, please. Ewan. Owen. Is it Owen or Ewan?
It's Owen.
Owen. Turn off your Twitch stream, Owen.
There we go, mate.
There we go.
Look at all them
I panicked
guitars.
for a second. I'll tell you why I panicked. Your logo looked... In the first few weeks of doing this show, we were targeted by extreme right-wing racists, and your logo looked a little bit like one of their logos. That's why I'm just saying.
No problem, mate. No,
that's why I was just saying we're careful. But
we're
as
not.
far as I can tell, you're not an extreme right-wing racist. Hello, Owen. What can we do for you?
I was wondering, I know you play the guitar, mate, and what is your kind of favourite instrument that you would like to play?
I play the bass guitar very badly, but I enjoy playing the bass guitar, but I'm not one of those people that can pick it up and just jam. I need to sit down and mathematically work out what it is I'm going to play, or have someone show me. Once someone shows me, I'm in. I used to, when I was a very little boy, used to play the cello, but not very well, and I wish I'd kept up playing the cello. I can't really play anything. I can do a few chords on the guitar, and that's it, but it's enough. I tell you what was nice, my eldest is learning the trombone, and he played a song the other day when I was around there, and there was a ukulele, and I went, oh, I think I might be able to play along. And I could do it was like just C and G, basically. Mm-hmm. And his face, when we finished, he was like, can we do that again? I went, yeah, sure. And I was doing it really badly. I wasn't quite getting it quite right. And he said, oh, next time we come over to your house, can I bring the trombone and you get your guitar out and we'll play together? I went, yes.
Magic. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Power of music.
Isn't it? Go on, Owen. What is it? So what you've look at that rack behind you. You've got a great rack.
Thank you, sir. It's just I teach for my local. I'm a Perry for the local authority, but I'm also a composer and stuff. But I think it's so important that we get our kids in, particularly at the moment, because we are stuck in.
Yeah.
With our, doing Zoom lessons because we haven't been able to go into schools. Although we are starting again in my local authority in the next week or two. But it's also putting, the idea of classical music is great for a lot of kids. But what I tend to do is do the opposite for my girls who I teach. I say, come on, let's do some rock and roll. You're going to be the next guitarist in the future. You're going to be the rock guitar. Not just the boys. Let's get the girls out there doing that. If you know what I mean.
Is there a way? People are saying you're very quiet. Is there a way you can boost yourself up? You're much quieter than Paul.
Is that better, buddy?
That is much better. There we go.
Sorry, I turned it down on mine.
And I don't know if you're aware that Paul, who is also in this conversation with us, is a classical timpanist.
Well, I was in a meeting earlier on with for one of our local kind of ensembles, and we were talking about having the kids the parents coming to get the timpani to take them home. And one of the dads said, well, how's he going to sleep? Because he's got everything else in his bedroom. So
Catherine,
the timpani
can I direct a comment to you?
Different sizes and stuff.
As the only woman in this chat,
yeah,
because I don't feel qualified.
Yeah.
I know what my knee-jerk reaction is, but I'd be keen to hear yours. Little Paper Flower says, girls know they can be rock stars. They don't need to be mansplained.
I think that's harsh. I don't think it's mansplaining. I think it's encouragement. My daughter plays the guitar. Purposefully, I've pointed out to her various people who I think are wicked on the guitar, females, right? Because I really do think you can't be it if you can't see it.
Exactly.
And there are lots of unspoken ways girls are dissuaded from joining in with various activities. So for someone to say it out loud and someone to bear it in mind, I don't think there's any harm in that at all. And for a fact that Owen's not doing it with any kind of malice. And
completely from the complete opposite, Kath. Sorry for interrupting.
Exactly. No, it's exactly that. When my daughter wanted to play the guitar, I said, right, what do you want to do? And she said, I want a purple guitar. I went, right, you can have a purple guitar.
Exactly.
I'm not going to buy her a boring, a boring classical one if that's the way she sees it.
Yeah.
She can be that person, and she feels wicked. And I bought a jazzy bag, and she's got a Florence Rocks, it says on it, her name on the bag, because I want her to feel
she does rock
wicked when she gets that guitar out, right?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that with the kids that I teach across the spectrum, but I also think it's really important that we as educators understand the fact that we have to get across every single border, colour border, gender border, across the border of sexuality. We have to make our kids feel comfortable in music. That's all it is. And once they feel that, then they can explore their own areas. I don't mind if one of the kids, if I say, well, let's do some rock and roll, and the kid says, oh, actually, I'd rather do this. Brilliant. Do that.
Let them lead it. You see the spark, you see the interest there and feed it. Yeah.
For our kids.
Is that a hole? Is that a triangular hole in your T-shirt, Owen?
What there, mate? No, it's just a T-shirt with a...
Oh, my God.
It's got a kind of... I hope not.
I thought it was some weird kind of fetish thing that was going on.
With my heart there, I feel a bit like, Iron Man.
I was talking to Catherine yesterday. Name 5 all-girl rock groups, because we were watching Fanny yesterday. It's a really funny name. Yeah. It's a great band.
They're brilliant.
Ain't it peculiar?
And do you know what I really noticed about Fanny? Apart from the name, obviously, they played in a they weren't being coquettish. They played like the boys do, right? They were enjoying themselves. They were lost in the music. No, in terms of not having to do any of that extra stuff that often women are encouraged to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They were lost in it. And that was wonderful to watch and really compelling. But I also see that is possibly why at the time they weren't as big as they could have been.
Here we go. Hang on a second. So people are saying that the Bangles and the Go-Go's. Yes.
The Bangles had to change to be sexy to get popular.
But then people are saying L7. I'm talking about L7. An interesting band. I'm talking about big successful rock bands, right? You can name, you can name 100. Kaniki had a guy in them, didn't they? I'm sure there was a guy in Kaniki.
Heart had men in it. Hole maybe. But that was a long way along the line,
Yeah.
you know.
But the fact that we're struggling,
Exactly.
and people are saying bands that are cult bands, Sleater Kinney, they're a great band, but they're not U2. Name a U2 that is women. The Go-Go's, the Bangles.
Yeah,
that's it.
And even then, there was never, at that period of time when they came out as bands, there was never that push for them. I mean, it was always a case of like, well, they're girl bands, isn't it? Kind of like, you know, slightly more, you know, kind of like a novelty rather than being standard.
Paul, what is the breakdown? And I want specific numbers here of what's the breakdown male-female in classical music, in orchestras? Or is are there certain instruments that are primarily male and certain instruments that are primarily female within the orchestras?
Stereotypically, yes.
Right.
I give you a couple of instances. My orchestra is actually weighted slightly heavier towards ladies, if I remember rightly. It's like 54%, I think. But stereotypical instruments that women will play would be the harp and the flute, for sure.
Right.
But I know both male harpists and flautists. But I do remember the first time I walked in to work with the National Taiwanese Symphony Orchestra. And I was astonished because it's got to be over 75, maybe even 80% female.
Right.
But that's a cultural thing, because in some of Asian culture, having a profession as a musician is not seen, it's not recognized as being, you know, proper work. And if you say you're a musician, people will say, oh, what do you do? You know, what do you really do for a living? But that's not a universal thing in Asia, certainly. But in Taiwan, that is what I was told.
My guitar teacher is also a friend of mine, and I haven't been to her for guitar lessons for a long time. I normally just go and have a chat now, Owen. But she's a professional musician. She's a professional guitarist, and she was a child prodigy to the point where I said to her, "So when did you start playing the guitar?" And she went, "What? Seriously? Not messing around?" I went, "Yeah." She said, "About 5." And I'm talking, she was doing concerts by the time she was 7. But she gets really frustrated. She's American, she's half French, and she gets very frustrated with us in this country that our attitude to the arts is that it is flim-flam, that it's secondary. And as a Perry teacher like you, she said that we're the first thing to go because we're seen as, I don't know, the sugar on top rather than something that's essential for a kid's formation. She said, you know, learning music is brilliant for problem solving, memory, a feeling of togetherness. There's nothing like sitting in a group and hearing yourself being part of this huge noise. She said, I can't believe that people think that is not a really important part of someone's education.
Absolutely, Catherine. I think what we forget is that the government send out all the time about if children do the arts, then they do better in numeracy and literacy. It's the white papers out there already. I'm sure that we could look up on the line now and find it. What I think is what music does is for kids, it pushes them. It gives them that ability to say, actually, I can do something that is really hard. We use both sides of the brain with music. We have to do the physical thing, particularly on the guitar. I train as a classical guitarist, so we have to use fingers and fingers and fingers. But we've also got to kind of look at the music as well. So at the same time, you're counting, you're thinking, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing the other thing. And this is why our parents who see us teaching in Zoom now, who've had to see us teaching Zoom since, March up to the present time, hopefully in the next term we will be able to get back into certain schools, normally secondary. But the parents are seeing what we do with our kids, and all of a sudden they're finding that actually these guys are really making our kids think, and the kids do that anyway. I've said before, and I hate this word in many ways, it's the facilitator. I try and push my kids to say, what do you want to do? I'm not the boss of these lessons. Yeah, I have to make sure that you learn, but I will ask you, what would you like to learn? So if someone says, well, I'd like to learn some Motorhead, okay, let's do some Motorhead. They might only have played for 2 weeks, but if they can get the first little bit of, I don't know, one of the first Motorhead songs, that's fine. As long as the kids are enjoying it and they're actually getting something, and particularly at this time of where COVID is and stuff like that, I think it's so important that the kids get some enjoyment in life.
Yeah.
Feel something about this.
And the Rishi Sunak thing today, he was slightly misquoted. He wasn't saying artists should retrain. He was saying everybody should retrain.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Everybody should. But the important thing is that it's times like this that you need art. When everything is shit, that's when you need art. That's when you need things of great beauty, whether it's music or paintings or plays or movies or whatever, to detract from the misery that is a global pandemic, that is a lockdown, that is not seeing your gran for 6 months. That's when you need creatives to take you out of that for an hour.
Or reflect what you're seeing. Sometimes it's about expressing what you're feeling as well. It's not always about running away from what you're feeling. And when it comes down to it, when we come out of this, I think that we're really going to miss certain elements of our lives because they've been deemed... what we need is the utilitarian stuff, and the rest of it was just frippery. It's not frippery. It's actually about survival, and it's about human to human communication. And while we were locked down, that's what we really, really missed. Also, what's keeping people in their houses if it's not entertainment?
Exactly. And I think Paul would mirror this. I hopefully and echo this across the board. I mean, I do classical as well as kind of like rock and folk stuff, but I think it's so important that we see our kids as entities in themselves. They know what they want, and that they have to have something in this period of time when we are often locked in together, for lengths of time. That whatever they feel is important musically is important. So also, it may be that, sorry for interrupting, it may be that I'll say, oh, this is good on the classic guitar. Well, no, actually, I want to do this. I mean, I will reiterate every time. I think it's so important that our kids get what they want at the moment. And that's not trying to sort of say, well, the kids rule. It's what the kids need.
Yeah. Look at the popularity of TikTok, right? Not every kid gets offered music lessons. Not every parent sees it as something that the kid will be interested in, or maybe they're not even offered it, right? But every kid gets their little 5 minutes of feeling special and feeling talented going on TikTok, and it's gone absolutely nuts. And some of them are not coming up with anything original. It's just joining in. It's the same process. It's the same thing. It's just being taken out of yourself a little bit. Exactly. And feeling like, I don't know, expressing yourself.
Here's something that I was reminded the other day, Paul. We took my boys, and we can't remember how old they were. I think 4 and 2, maybe 5 and 3. I took them to a concert for, I can't remember what orchestra it was, but it was at the Royal Festival Hall for kids, right? It was dead cheap. And it was great, and they played like some classical, and they played some pop classical, and they might have played a couple of TV themes classical, and we had a little boogie. And at the end, my eldest reminded me of this the other day. At the end, you could go out and meet the band in the foyer, the Royal Festival Hall, and they were there with their instruments. And if you were patient enough, you could queue up, and they would let you have a go on their instruments. A real amazing opportunity. And my 10-year-old, who's now learning the trombone, reminded me that when we did this when he was 4 or 5, he went and had a go on the trombone. And I'd completely forgotten that was the thing that he went straight. And he was tiny. He's 5 years old. Trombone is massive. It was a full-size one. And the person is there, holding it. And they were so patient. You only got about 7 minutes because there was a queue, and did that. And he's now learning it. And who knows? He may not be learning it in a year's time. It doesn't matter, because it's what he's doing now. And I'm so proud of him, because he's suddenly developed this power through playing it. He was doing a bit that he'd practiced, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna try this one on the next page. I've never done it before." And he's sight reading the trombone. And then we're playing a silly game where he said, "I think I can get all the hand positions right without holding the trombone." So we're there miming trombones together. It was incredible, man. And he was teaching me stuff.
That's
and
the thing.
He's learned this confidence, and it's is he going to play the trombone forever? I don't know. Maybe he will. Probably won't. Statistically, it's unlikely. But right now, he's getting so much out of it, man.
It also teaches him the principle of this. If you really want to do something and you practice enough, you can achieve it, right? Yeah. So it may not be the trombone, but he knows that if he works something out, he can do it. Yeah. And it's taking that fear away, and like, oh, well, I don't know how to do that, and it looks really hard.
But I'm also aware that my kids go to, quite a posh school in Windsor where that stuff is actively encouraged, and they're given a wide selection of instruments, and that not every person is in that position. Paul, how did you get into the timpani?
It was a long and winding road. There was always music around at home. My mum was always very pushy for our educations. But there was always music on at home, always classical. I wasn't allowed to read comics or anything like that. So I've ordered the Viz. That'll be the first time in my life.
Wow, he's plunging into the deep end.
He's in for a shock.
Bit of a shock, I've got to say.
But no, I mean, she just afforded me every opportunity. My ability was spotted while I was at school by my music teacher and the principal. And that's another thing. My mum, she insisted on sending us to private school to kind of buck the odds against, the disadvantages that society might throw my way. And they spotted my ability, and I auditioned for schools, and I got into Purcell, which is a specialist music school. And even then, I kind of meandered because I didn't really know what it was I wanted to do. So I got in on my ability to sing and very, very rudimentary piano. But I went through the violin, I tried brass instruments, I played the clarinet for a while. And then they started percussion lessons. And that was when it really came home for me because, right from the get-go, I was into it.
You hit the sweet
spot. And it made sense, and it fit.
Yeah.
And my first timpani lesson was just like the whole world opened up to me suddenly. And that was it.
Does that sound familiar, Owen?
Yeah, very much so. I think slightly different for me. As I say, I didn't go to private school, but we had Irish and Scottish music in our family and every hogmanay was just a hoolie. Every party was a hoolie. It always involved lots of drinking and all that sort of stuff. But it was always good singing. But I think Paul put a great point across there. I think it is singing that's the really most important thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what we get our kids in. We have to do the singing to start with. Not everybody's going to pick a guitar up or pick any instrument and be able to play anything. So what we do is get the kids singing, get them playing, and get them doing stuff.
Paul just farted.
Yeah, get them farting. That's even better.
He did it with rhythm.
I think that may have been Paul's chair, hopefully.
That bombshell.
Oh, so good to speak to you too.
Really nice to chat to you. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Nice to meet you, Owen. Paul, lovely to talk to you as always. We'll speak to you later on. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. Sorry, there were some people in the waiting room, but I've just seen it's 10 to...
Blimey.
Mid-10 to blimey. And that was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
I used to play the violin. Here's the weird thing. I played the violin since I was 7. I was rubbish at it.
You must be tired.
I didn't enjoy it and I didn't practice, but I was all right. And I got by, which is probably the problem. I should have been really, really rubbish and then I could have got away with dropping it. But I went to university, took the violin with me, never got it out of the case. About 2 years later, I thought, how hard can it be? I'll just have a little go. Didn't work.
No.
And I don't know whether I can read music anymore.
Every good boy deserves apples. Face.
Deserves favours.
Okay. I can't then. No, it couldn't. It could be. Anyway. Very quickly, let's say a big thank you to our sponsors.
Yes.
Viz are sponsoring us. Go to subscribe.viz.co.uk/TLN8. I think so many have done it. So many have signed up for the Viz 3 issues for £1. And then you carry on for the rest of the year. You can cancel after that if you want, but then you carry on for the rest of the year and you still save 23%. I think loads of you have done it. If you're thinking about it, please do it this week using that code because it will look great for us and Viz might come back. Do it, get it as a Christmas present. A couple of things that could work as Christmas presents. Viz would definitely work as a Christmas present. Can we get the link for Viz in the chat, please? And it's not as good as it used to be, but it's very, very funny. This could be good as a Christmas present.
If you remember the golden days of Den and Angie, he could have done with Gregorian Emerson, although he wasn't bothered about them not stirring things up. He wanted it to be nice and tasty. Yep. Gregorian Emerson, family law solicitors, they will, take you through this step by step. It's a really flipping awful time. They will not make it any worse. They won't make it any more dramatic, and they won't get you to sort of goad the other party, because when it comes down to it, if you've got children, you're still going to be mum and dad the other side of the divorce. So they're not going to create any more damage, and in fact, they'll probably help you to heal a few things. So Gregorian Emerson Family Law Solicitors, it's gelaw.co.uk. Give them a shout.
Danny, I got your email back, Carol Smiley. I will reply when I can. It's things are a little bit hectic at the moment with stuff that is going on. So if it's going to be a problem that you're waiting for an immediate reply, I cannot do that. I'm afraid I cannot do that. But thank you. Poseidon Safety Management. Talk to me about Devon and Cornwall and why it's so goddamn safe because of Nick and Zeus.
You would assume that Devon and Cornwall was a sleepy, leafy, quiet, scone eating paradise. Not so. And if it is, it's because of people like Nick and the guys at Poseidon.
It's where they film Bergerac and Midsommar's Murders. And as we know, it's full of murders. Yep.
So anyway, Poseidon Safety Management, they manage it with big, shouty, pointy, bitey dogs. And if you'd like those, give them a shout. 01208 455 245. They recruit from the local area, so they know...
Please don't phone them and say penis.
No, don't do that. They know the areas, they know the local characters, and they also have a kind of vested interest in keeping things nice and peaceful. So that's Poseidon Safety Management. And they're hilarious on Twitter.
All of these companies, I can't speak for Viz, but all of these companies, they just want to make things better. Obviously, they want to make a few quid because they're businesses, but that's not really why they are sponsoring us. It's really unlikely you're going to see this and go, oh, it's a safety management company in Devon and Cornwall. I could do with that. But what it does is you may need them at some point. You may benefit from them. But also, it's just to highlight that these are good people doing good stuff at a really crappy time in the world's history. And it's so lovely that there are people like Nick, people like Richard Gregorian, people like the team behind 34SP that haven't given up and are trying to make things a little bit better. 34sp.com is the web hosting. We're going to look at their website tomorrow. Ethical web hosting. They sent all of their workers home before it was fashionable, and they've told all of their workers they can stay home until 2021 before it's fashionable, and then they'll kind of have a little chat at the beginning of the year to see where they need to go next. They sent masks out, really good masks from a local Manchester company to all of their staff. So there's the ethical side. In the side that you're interested in, possibly more than that, is you can get 3 months for free web hosting by using the code TLNA. You can call them 365 days of the year and they will be able to help you. They speak fluent geek. They also speak human. I know a little bit of geek, but I'll quite often get involved too deep in the conversation and have to back out and say, I'm really sorry, can we go again? And they'll be able to do that for you, and they're good people. So thanking you.
And they'll give you 3 months free with the code TLNA. Well, just in case.
Okay,
just in case you forgot. It's important.
If you've got a website that's being hosted by them, then let us know and we will give it a plug. We didn't do any of the topics. So that is, what's day? Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we do the topics. We're going to do the topics. Right. Let's do a little Raidingtons. Let's do a little
You've inspired me. In fact, this conversation has inspired me. Owen and Paul. This weekend, me and Little Lynn are getting our guitars out. We played together once before, a while ago, at the beginning of lockdown.
Okay, have a little jam.
And she got a kick out of it.
The eldest was... 2 unbanned requests. Have you got the unbanned facility? Is your computer
No, my
charged
computer
up?
is dead.
I think I can do it here. I saw how to do it here. Unbanned requests. Oh,
maybe they've already done.
No.
They're the ones that we sorted.
No. These are new ones.
Hang on. I might have just enough. No, I haven't got any.
I can't see him, Matty. Can't see him. Try it again. Just refresh that page.
Let me. I think we already sorted them.
One from Vermin and one from Badmiral, he's saying.
Oh, no. Aha!
What does Vermin say?
Vermin says, I love this community and made an untimely comment about the quality of Ian's webcam, and I've set out for months and believe a sit on the naughty step has done me the world of good. Okay, let's see.
I like that tone.
Yeah.
I like that tone.
It's better than the, you've timed me out and I haven't done anything wrong.
I like that tone. Tell me about it. Ian,
Load previous. Hang on. Okay, so some industrial language, but that's not the end of the world.
Deliberately spelling my name wrong.
And then being RC. Right, Ian, why did you time me out, mate?
Bring him back, but you're on a very, very short leash. Very short leash.
Oh, hang on a second. What's this?
We've done all that.
No, there's something else I saw.
Unban him. Can we unban him? We need to be quick because Catherine's only got 2% on a computer. So can we unban Vermin, please,
I
Matty?
can do that.
Okay, unban. But he's on a short leash.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Next one is...
Admiral, apparently. Just says unban.
This channel is poor. Good night. Oh, well, if it's that poor...
No, you can stay
Ta-ra.
fucked. You can stay fucked. Right.
Oh, my
Then you can stay fucked.
R-O-C-C O-L-I.
I'll check it with Bully. B-R-O-C-C-O-L-I.
Wrong. Did anyone type it in?
Oh, this should we? This
Yeah,
is
I like
Mikey
this.
and Janie. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Be nice, please.
You are gonna love this.
Amazing.
That's 2 Americans.
Got 2 Americans.
You're gonna
Well,
love
you're
this.
about to have your
Mikey and
minds
Janie,
blown.
Make their night.
And tonight I met
We play retro games and watch old TV. Oh God, I like these.
£50. Well played. I think you were thinking about
Married couple from Stoke. Oh, I like these two. I like these two. This is going to be a. This is going to be a. Look at the size of those glasses of wine. This is going to be a raid to remember. Thank you, Catherine.
Hey, thank you, Ian.
See you tonight at 10. Enjoy this.